official? You really want to test this?
And we're live.
We're not live.
In
We're
5,
I think we are
4,
really up to
3,
Let's get it, bro.
2,
I mean, we're live now.
1.
Game time, bro.
Turn your thing. Fucking stop it. Stop it.
No, stop it. No, stop it.
All right, Aaron,
No,
take a
stop
break.
it. I
One
fucking
thing we should
scripted.
probably turn our ringers off.
Yeah, please, guys, everyone, turn off your
All
phones.
right, Aaron,
turn
let's
off
get it
everything.
going. You know what I mean? Let's get it.
The most
Get an
scuffed
intro.
podcast.
Do you know?
on
This is
the
our
internet.
intro, bro.
Do you know how much audio we're deleting right now?
This is our intro,
I'm
dog.
so glad. I'm so glad this is our intro.
this is fun.
This is such an intro. This is actually what it.
More of like a Saturday Night Live.
No,
podcast,
it's-
so it's gonna be like a.
No,
Fuck, I was gonna say
this is real stupid.
PBR.
Well, let's not curse on the podcast.
You know the part we're cutting out? It's this fucking
Well, no,
part
I
right
can't.
here. It's this part. People are gonna be like, "Damn, why do they just roll
production
into a
value is
conversation?"
just
It's
ridiculous.
because we talk like this. This is what happens. You pull off shit like this. We're like, "I'm Dan the man. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna start a little
Before we
podcast."
start, can I have a shot?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I
Pass the
hope
whiskey.
this is gonna be our audio right here. Hello, listeners. I'm going to speak quietly to you right now. So what's going on right now is essentially this is our pre-podcast setup. So what we're doing here essentially is really
Aaron
just
sounds
kind
like
of
an uncle coming into your bed
filling
at night.
up the air.
It's a dirty lie.
We have our
Uncle's cummies?
well, Danny, you're really judging me right now, but you can't even speak properly into a mic.
Aaron,
Start the podcast
This
is
now.
I thought this was our pre-podcast.
5 seconds of silence.
I think we started.
Someone give me a countdown or
I got
something.
you,
I
I got
really
you,
need
I
a
got you.
sound.
Good morning. Look at my hand.
Yeah, I'm looking at him.
Rolling.
Hi, this is Aaron with the Soft Serve Podcast. Today with us we have
Strawberry, Austin Myers.
This is Z Money, aka Zachary.
I'm Quincy Tucker, a.k.a. Q-Tuck.
And I'm Danny Timbers, aka Strawberry. Oh wait, no, Vanilla.
Yeah, okay, let's correct things there. So
okay.
today, we're really just, this is our first official podcast, guys.
It is.
Yeah.
It's
It
time.
only
You
took
know
us
what I'm
2
saying?
Everyone
hours.
excited?
Hey, Danny, talk
2
to the
months,
mic
2
so we can hear
years.
you.
Yeah, actually, Danny, can you please do that?
Levels are low,
Please,
dude.
can you be Danny Fast into the mic?
Hi, I am Danny Fast. I have a new show coming out.
Don't
It's
touch the
called-
mic when you talk to the mic.
It's called Danny Fast. Please don't keep my face like that.
I'm not in your face, you're in my face, actually.
So,
Yeah, you kind of want to kiss me, but let's go.
Well,
Let's
yeah.
what's first topic? Let's get this.
Yeah,
let's
let's
get
get-
this.
let's
Let's
get
get
Just like
this
Disney
going.
World,
Alright,
like
well-
Disney World, let's make those
okay,
dreams come true,
well,
buddy.
see, we're just gonna. So when you hear a long silence, it's just at all the times we're cutting out Danny. We really don't need him in this.
It'll be edited out, so don't
it'll
worry
be
about
edited
that.
out. Don't worry about this. Anyway, so I figured our first topic would really be about introduction. Kind of getting to know us well personally, not too personally,
You're
because then you
trash ass
wouldn't listen to us. But first, I guess we'll go around. We'll start with Zach.
Oh, we're starting with me.
Yeah, let's start with Zach.
Okay.
Let's do some basic introductions.
So my name's Zach.
Yes.
I eat ass, skate on grass.
Okay, so this kind of feels like it's like your first day of school right now.
Yeah, it kind of
it's-
does.
it's a
I've already
basic-
I've
it's
already
a
done
basic-
Are we
this.
doing like
I've
we were
already
doing
done
last
this.
time?
Hit us with that
Is
Tinder
that wrong?
bio. Let's go.
Oh, you want to
Oh,
hear the
Tinder bio?
Tinder bio?
Let's get it,
Okay,
bro.
all right,
Pull
all
the phone out.
Let's go.
Pull the phone out.
I can't wait to listen to this. I'm so excited. What do you want? Is there
let's see
anything you
here.
should say?
No.
I'm quite
right.
comfortable.
Zach, 22,
with what-
Virginia Commonwealth University.
Let's get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tinder. Tough being a single mom,
Z money.
especially when you don't have any kids and you're a dude. A
Is that-
closed mouth never gets fed.
I would swipe right for that.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Same.
I'm embarrassed. I'm still on Tinder, but then I remember that some of you actually pay for this. Health science, swimming, running, life, VCU 18.
Z
All right.
money to go.
So that's Z Money.
The prophet
Next
right
with
there.
us, we have
Still no
one
matches.
Austin Myers.
Let's get it, Austin. A Boogie.
My name's Austin Myers. I'm an actor.
Oh, there you
Actor.
go. Actor.
Not actor.
I'm a theater
actor.
performance major at
Excellent.
VCU.
That's right.
Yeah, there you go.
And what was my Tinder bio when I had a Tinder? Fuck. Let me see if I can remember.
Doesn't have to be.
Just
can do
yeah,
whatever,
bro.
man.
Anything.
No, I just thought it might be funny if I could remember what it was, but I can't off the top of my head because it changed. I thought I was really clever when I had the Talladega Nights quote.
If you're not
If not first, you're last.
No,
right?
it wasn't. No, well,
Shake and bake?
actually, no, I did have that
Shake
one at
and
one
bake.
time. But no, I had the. In the words of the late great Colonel Sanders, "I'm too drunk to taste this chicken."
That's right.
Oh,
That
I
is-
think that leads us into our next topic. So Colonel
We're not
Sanders,
done.
we're not-
We're not
well,
done. Shut the fuck
Colonel
up.
Sanders is now a woman.
Aaron.
Wait, they
I would
actually
like
did
to
change
correct things right now. We'll get into it a little bit later, but right now, I think next we have one Quincy Tucker.
Quincy Tucker. That's right. Quincy Tucker. That's me. Middle name Andre. Hey, I just got in a relationship. All good, dude. Anyway, that's all. That's all I gotta say about me. What I'm saying, I'm black, 23 years old. No shit, I'm 22.
Yes, we do have black people with us.
It's right. We have 2 black people. The anchor's black too, if you couldn't tell.
Thank
He probably
you.
couldn't because his voice is white. Anyway,
Well, that's
I'm
presumptuous.
Quincy. That's me. Next, let's get it. I'm sorry. That was terrible.
All right.
That was horrible. I
Second
stuttered
to
like 3
last.
times.
Yeah, we do have a rule against that, so we're gonna
Yeah,
have
we'll
to,
get
we'll
that
correct you later. You'll find out. And next we have one Danny Slow.
Hey, what's up? It's Danny Fast here, or Danny Timbers. You may know me. Oh, I can't even say that. Yeah, that's me. I deleted my Tinder because it made me really sad. And that's that's pretty much it. Thank you.
All right, that's a pretty fast wrap up on Danny.
I deleted my Tinder because I got in a relationship. Just thought I said that twice.
We know.
Niggas
Okay.
ain't single no more, B.
Well,
We made it.
That was
yes,
quite the
so
intro.
I guess the
If I do say.
introductions are pretty Tinder based.
I'll
so-
leave out the N word later.
Okay. All right. We're never gonna get viewers. Anyways, this is Aaron.
listeners.
Of course, we're not going to get viewers. It's a
listeners are-
podcast.
This is a
damn it.
podcast.
It's
All right,
audio.
let's go.
Okay, I guess we're not making that YouTube page then, huh? So, I guess.
What are you gonna do? Are you
Where's
gonna write
the
the
camera,
captions?
Okay. Well, okay. Apparently, no one
You
wants
gonna
me to
write the
introduce
captions for what I
myself.
say?
All right, Aaron, go ahead, Aaron.
Getting way
Thank you.
too ahead of ourselves.
I am MC Aaron. You know,
Let's
think
talk in a
this-
soft voice.
We're opening
here
like a
to
merch
speak to
line.
you guys. Really,
next
just
week,
whisper a little
and we're
careless
going
whisper into
global.
your ear. I am a scenic design major. You know, doing stuff in theater along with. I swear. You see, the best thing about a podcast like this is that it's very audio friendly because you cannot tell what just happened, but it was someone decided to put their ass to the mic, and
That is a filthy lie.
it was very. No, it's not a lie. It's
You're taking advantage of the fact that our viewers can't see what's going on.
Yeah.
And you're lying to them.
Yeah, actually, a
Goddamn
unicorn
liar.
has just stepped into the room.
Unicorns don't even fucking exist.
All right. Well, that just proves that fact of the
Well, you
day.
know what? This is going to be an explicit podcast. I'm going to put explicit on the first auto
Yes.
artwork.
So if you are planning to show
NSFW.
this to your mother for Mother's Day, which is about 3 months out, please do not recommend this podcast. Also, if you have any young children and they're fans of Tyler the Creator or 169, I don't think they should listen to
Tekashi
this either.
6ix9ine, that is.
Although, if you're looking for a good Groundhog Day treat, this is for you. So tomorrow, pop in those headphones and give us a listen.
Also, if your mother's planning to hire a man named Quincy Tucker, do not play her this podcast because I need a job. I'm broke.
All right, so I figured we'd segue right into our first topic. I really want to get into the bare bones of what we are. So I figured
Bare bones.
yes, as
Is
in
it like same thing
we
as
we
raw
are
dog?
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Bareback?
Let's get into the raw dog of who we are as individuals.
Let's get into just the plain bareback of who we are. We're just like a wet slapping, just
Okay, all right.
in
You-
your
you
face.
going too far. You took it over the
Like
line.
I think it's a good
Yikes.
idea to just really like get into the nitty gritty, the bareback of who we are as individuals.
Yes, that is correct. So I think the first thing that's really defines us is our music taste. So I think we should take it off with one Danny Timbers. Do you have any songs you're currently listening to? Anything you're really into right now? You hate music? Is that what you're saying? He's nodding his head
What
right
are you
now.
listening to?
What
There
are
we
you
go.
listening to?
I like that. What are you listening to?
Gave your love away. I said I love you, baby.
And that's all we can do right now before we
I-
get copyright checked.
Gave your love away.
Yeah.
You can play music. It's free.
Yeah,
It's up to the
as long as
public.
we're singing it. Because
You get the
really,
Oscar.
when we sing it, it's
Nah,
like
you get the Oscar play phone too. You can play music.
no, we're like a parody.
I listen to podcasts before.
I don't.
Shout out to Joe Budden podcast. It's a really good
Okay,
listen.
there we
Check
go.
it
Like
out.
the big
Jake and
no.
But
Jake and-
yeah,
that's
Danny,
Joe
what do you
Yeah, what do you
just
listen to,
lately?
man?
What you been listening to? You every morning I wake up and you're blasting your music out of your room. You're grooving. So what
Yeah.
you been grooving
Yeah,
to?
I'm pretty good at blasting music and singing terribly to it.
Moving is crazy.
Yeah, my groove it's really it's daddish.
Daddish.
Yeah, it's very daddish. Daddy spank me. No. So I've been told a few times that my music taste is pretty vanilla, and I listen to the same things over again. You can thank Zach for that. And it, for the most part, it was true.
Z Money the Profit.
Yeah, the Z Money Profit. Sorry. And it mostly was just like Drake and Hall & Oates and stuff like that. But I tried to spread out, and Spotify is banging. I love Discover Weekly, and I love
Please
listening to
sponsor
that.
us.
Love listening to that as much as I can.
Yeah. Tell us what you're listening to, dipshit.
Okay,
not
that's what I'm
not
trying
how
to-
you're listening to it. They don't want to hear
Oh,
that.
go fuck yourself.
Everyone has Spotify, dude. Everyone knows how to do that shit. We don't need to hear the
Yeah,
life
come on, man.
story.
What are you
Turns
listening
out
to
you
now?
can download music. This is a new technology. I was with my MP3 player, but moved on to better things.
And LimeWire.
Lately, it's not
Frostwire.
Yeah,
Austin, come on.
Frostwire. Come on, man.
No,
Separate
one of
him
them
up.
got shut down. Oh, LimeWire got shut down.
LimeWire. I
Oh,
thought
I
the one that got
assume
shut
both of them
down.
got. I
Well,
would
they
hope
all got
both of them
shut
got
down.
shut down.
Today's time. Come on, guys.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. We are interjecting. You're
I'm
right.
time
Here,
to shine.
continue.
I
He
am a
wasn't even
stripper on
answering
the pole
the
now.
question correctly.
Go fuck yourself. Okay, it's not new. I've been listening to a lot of Jaden Smith lately. Actually, I really like his music.
Okay, Jaden Smith.
90
Did you
and
just
Fallen.
misgender though? Did you just misgender
Austin,
Jaden
that's the next
Smith?
podcast, Austin. Next podcast.
Did he?
What is Jaden's?
He's,
I guess that's-
he's they.
Is he?
They?
They.
Is he actually?
I don't know.
Well-
Actually, I don't know.
Well,
Mhm.
Does he do
if it is
pronouns?
they, then they makes great
I didn't know.
music, and I love digging into it.
I just felt like being an asshole.
Yeah. Is she still whipping her hair back and forth? Is that?
I
Is that
heard
going
the
on?
rest of her music is actually really good though.
Really?
She was on
She had, like, an
Cudi-
album
she was
that
on
dropped,
Kid Cudi's
like-
album.
Is
She did
it-
vocals
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Willow's
she's pretty
Lawn,
good.
right?
Yeah.
Willow Lawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Over there with the Five Guys and the Old
Sorry,
Navy.
that was a
I
quick
have to admit,
Richmond
when,
reference.
When both Jaden and Willow started kind of doing their own careers, I was kind of skeptical because it was kind of like, oh, it's just Will Smith's children and they're famous so they can do whatever. But now that they've actually like bloomed into their own like characters, I actually respect them a lot. I know I went on both Willow and
No,
Jaden's
Aaron cracking over the beer.
Instagram- yeah, on their Instagram. Dude, get them in the cup. But I put in
Rude.
both their Instagrams, and they actually have a lot of really cool stuff. I think Willow does some like modeling stuff, but Jaden's really big into music, and his music is really developed. and
He's
it's
fashion
really
too.
good. Yeah.
He's really good in fashion too.
But
But not better than A$AP Rocky. A$AP Rocky had that fashion shit.
Does A$AP Rocky actually have a fashion line out?
He does, I think. I don't know if he has a fashion line, but I
Can
know
someone?
he's just
Can we
like,
get a fact checked here? Do we have a fact check
anybody
person
got,
yet?
A fact check
Google
on
Can we,
what?
can we
Yeah.
get?
Yeah.
Can
Does
we,
someone
can
have
we get,
you know
can we
maybe
get
a
a fact check?
laptop in front of
Cause
them?
I don't know, cause I know one of his
Or-
crew members have they have like a V-Loan line with Nike, so it's like
He doesn't know how to use a laptop. That's what he's trying to tell you.
he's in like Max.
I hate Max
You
too. I'm
wanted to
sorry.
be control panel up there.
Danny just tried to hand the laptop
Look
to
up,
Aaron, and they
if
both
A$AP
looked
Rocky
at
has
each
a
other like,
clothing
"How the
line."
hell do we use this?" Even though
A$AP Rocky has a clothing line.
it's pretty rough.
But what
up
I do
here.
know is like one of the A$AP Bari, the guy who was accused of rape over the last summer. Was it last summer? Yeah. 2017. He has like a shoe line with Nike. It's like called V-Loan. That's like really big.
Do
But
they
he
still
was like-
sell shoes?
I don't know
His
because
shoe- I
he
doubt
was
it.
over summertime. He was accused. He had like a video come out.
They
him,
probably
like,
dropped
forcing
him.
stuff over a girl.
Yeah, I would assume they
But
would
they
drop
probably
his
still
line.
sell his
Yeah.
shoes if they're still popular.
I don't know if they dropped it though. I don't know that.
No, like they dropped him from the brand, but they still kept.
Do you know that? Did they drop
No,
it?
I don't.
know
but I'm
that they dropped it.
assuming
I don't
that
know.
would probably.
So,
I wasn't
like,
sure. I just heard
happen.
about it over summertime.
Every
Because
now
if you
and
think
then
about it, if you come up with like a popular shoe like that and something like that happens, yeah, you're gonna drop someone. But it's just like the Netflix shows and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah,
How
like
that
with
one dude
Kevin
from the
Spacey.
'70s show. Well, not even that. Just like the.
I was talking about Hyde.
Yeah, because he's on that show with Ashton Kutcher,
Danny Master.
and they
Yeah,
dropped
they-
him, but they're not canceling the show.
They should cancel that show because
Oh,
it was him.
really?
It was based off him and Ash Kutcher. Like I don't know why they
Yeah,
skipped
they're
the
like
show
writing
up.
him off, but that's kind of like the same.
That's
yeah,
trash.
that's kind of
That's
the thing.
trash.
I've been
You like
thinking
House of
about-
Cards season 5, right?
Yeah, I don't understand how that season's gonna happen.
because-
they
Yeah,
haven't
without
even come
Kevin
out with it
Spacey.
yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
still.
He was House of Cards.
Because
man.
the plot of House of Cards revolved around Francis, and he played
Yeah.
Francis. But now that he's not in the TV show, like the way that the last season ended.
And I'm just gonna drop a little quick spoiler
spoiler
alert.
warning for season. What was it 4 or 5 House of Cards?
It's been out for a
watched that shit
while.
so far
Five
to
was the
me.
last. Yeah,
If you
5
haven't
was the
seen
last
it,
season
go
of House
watch
of
it.
Cards. But Claire becomes president at the end of that season, and so it's going to be easier for them to write him out, but just because he was so central to the plot, it's just it'll be difficult as an audience member to like rationalize what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna watch it. I loved the show, and
I think the main concern is like, are they going to kill him off because they already had it?
They don't have to
like,
kill him
like,
off. They can just
I
not
don't
show
think-
him.
but they
Or
already
just
have
tell
him.
him that he's
Well,
Well, you
somewhere.
see, what I think
I
what
didn't watch
makes
it, but
sense
kill
the
'em
most
off.
to me is that they'll do a time jump, and it'll be like they'll do a time jump, and it'll be like some months later, and during that time that they skipped, he'll have been arrested for all the stuff he did in the previous seasons, and he'll be like behind bars and not be
That
able
could be
to,
interesting.
and then not be a part of the plot anymore, or they'll kill. I don't know how, but it seems weird to me how they could possibly depict him even being written off without putting Kevin Spacey's face up there.
Right.
I mean, look at a show like 2.5 Men. I mean, you when I watched it for some time, and you couldn't imagine it without Charlie Sheen. But I mean,
is that show still going on?
No, that canceled.
no, I
They
mean,
canceled. Okay.
No, I think they
No, but they
shut
did
it down.
reboot it with
Did they
another
try
actor.
without
tried
Charlie?
I watched it.
Ashton
It was really-
Kutcher.
that
they
was
ended up
actually
trying
decent.
it with Ashton Kutcher, and the show Kushner.
It's actually
It's
a
Kutcher.
cushion.
Jared
Kushner.
It's actually Ashton Kunas.
Ashy knees.
They replaced it with ashy knees, and they were ashy, but it still was a pretty good show. But I mean, the show, when you have such like a crucial character to the show, once they leave, it's never the same.
Would you like imagine Breaking Bad if like
Homie
let's
died.
say yeah,
Bryan Cranston did announce his
Homie
retirement
died.
today.
But at the
Homie
same
died.
time, I think that there's a difference between an actor no longer being in the show because of reason X, Y, or Z versus the actor not being on the show because they were a pedophile.
Oh,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I'm
Like Jared
like,
from the
I'm-
Subway commercials.
Oh God,
I'm not
I remember
upset.
that. yes.
Wow, bro, that
You
was
know, just-
wild.
I think the saddest thing about that is how it started. It started with a guy who's losing weight and showing how like eating healthy sandwiches and living a healthy lifestyle could get you set in a way
he
where
was
like.
so unhealthy in the mind. That's
but
crazy,
like
right?
his mentally is
He
just
was
like
so unhealthy. That's crazy.
It's
right?
crazy. It's like,
He was sick in the head.
yeah, just the
Well,
parallels
that's
between.
one thing we like learned about in some of my classes was just like how you got to kind of be careful with who your spokespeople are or who you get affiliated with, because one wrong move and they can fuck up your whole brand. I mean, they can like you can't go to Subway right
well,
now.
Subway will always be the ass end of a joke.
Hey, that
about
Subway
that.
app
Yeah.
though. That Subway app is
But you're still
popping.
gonna go to Subway.
Yeah, you will. But
Please sponsor us as well.
You can never get that nasty taste out of your mouth of being like, oh shit.
No.
Nah, when I eat that cold cut, sandwich, I'm good, B.
But also, like that also reminds me of like when the whole Chick-fil-A incident went down, where I think it was the CEO like was against like sponsored
No,
companies.
they'd give money to
They
charities,
give money to charities that
are
are against gay people.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
but
The
that-
LGBTQIA
But in
plus
a way,
community.
that's different because isn't Chick-fil-A mostly run by
Christians.
It's
Christians?
Mormon
Yeah,
based.
that's why they're open on Sundays.
Exactly.
It's
And
a
so-
Mormon base.
but
I
with-
mean,
I
but
think- I
still,
don't think
like,
it's Mormon.
But something like that you can expect
Because they're
that
closed on
because
Sundays.
from the start they announced
think
that
it's just like
these are their
general
values and this is
evangelical
what
Christian.
they support and that's what they don't support.
yeah.
And so if they don't support abortion, then that's part of their company value.
But then you have professors like I had a professor in mass comm. She was like boycott Chick-fil-A and Sweet Frog because they support the anti-LGBTQI policy. I was like,
I think
I
that-
Well, at the
understand
same
that.
way, you know
I
what
get that
happened
sentiment,
when
but it's like,
what happened when that whole controversy happened,
yeah,
and the people who, the people in this country who are like, oh, fuck gay people, those far right
yeah.
people, they flocked to Chick-fil-A,
Yeah.
and were like, give me those fucking waffle fries,
Yeah.
shove them in my homophobic
That's
face.
what they say. That's what they did with Trump. It was like,
Yeah.
all right, he's against,
So it's
he's against
just-
everybody.
All right, establishing
we're
episode
gonna-
one.
all right,
This is
politics. We're gonna stop right there.
so that was Danny's music interest, and
Yeah,
I didn't even get to my second
Uh,
song. I had like a song that I actually really liked.
we're gonna skip him because he's gonna take forever.
Is
to
it
look
like
for this.
K-Force unusual?
So we're gonna go over to our.
It is.
We're gonna go over to
But,
our.
wait, no, actually, okay.
Okay.
So
K-Force is nice though. K-Force
yeah,
is that
on
nigga.
the same lines as Jaden Smith, Fallen, K-Force, Unusual Self is a really good song. Every
Smooth.
time I listen to this song, I can't get it out of my head. And I like walk down. What's that like one Bart Simpson thing on YouTube?
Oh, that little
Main Street.
the acid church
Main
shit?
Street. Yeah, it's the same kind of vibe. Like it makes you
We
just
don't do
chill
acid
out.
on this
It's
podcast.
Not actually Main Street.
It's really tight. Chill
What
out.
he's talking about is actually a vaporwave video. Of
Yeah, that's right.
Bart
Vaporwave.
Simpson.
That's what baby
Yeah.
I said that's trip. I don't
Yeah.
watch that strip.
It's just like
I don't do that
It
shit.
just hits you right away, and it's smooth.
I'm
right
not a
away.
hippie. I'm not a black
Vaporwave
hippie. I'm not
actually
Kendrick Lamar.
is for the Vape Nation
listen.
people, so I think you should show them some
Hence,
respect.
vaporwave.
Vape
Hence
Nation kiss my-
Vaporwave. That
hey,
is correct.
Vape Nation kicked my ass. Let's stab this right now.
Well, we
Right,
just lost a
we-
lot of people.
Ain't nothing
You
wrong
know,
with
on,
vape.
on
Just
episode
playing. I
one,
love
what
y'all. I love
you
y'all.
really want to do is just alienate
Ease
a
into
certain
it,
crowd
yeah.
of people. And right now, what we're doing is
Do you
just
really
really
think our
establishing.
listeners just went to
we'll get-
zero
We'll get this later.
listening
But
to
Brandon Stark is trash. We'll get to that later though.
We'll get to that later. Zach, I think we should start with our trap lord over here.
Oh,
Trap Lord. Yeah,
Yikes.
Lord,
ASAP
D-Money.
Furry. Sorry, I
Yeah.
your name,
No
but,
copyright. No copyright.
so like what I'm listening to currently, like right now.
Yeah, man.
So I've been getting into this group called Brockhampton, and
Okay.
they're actually, it's really interesting. They're a group of like 12 people, all different backgrounds and stuff. Some of them sings. There's like 3 or 4 guys that rap, and they actually released 3 albums in a year.
Wow.
Saturation 1, 2, and 3. But if you haven't listened to them, they're pretty good. They mix like rapping with singing, and they're interesting like instrumentals and everything like that. And should really check them out. They're kind of up and coming too. Like I think they're on the festival scene this summer. It's like the first time they've done that. They just did a live performance in like Times Square yesterday. It was pretty good.
What festivals are they touring
They're
this
at
summer?
Firefly,
They are at Firefly.
among others. I would assume, just since they're all pretty much the same lineup.
And they're at Coachella too.
Okay.
What's
I don't believe that.
What's the one?
They're actually performing at Coachella.
They are.
I
Okay.
saw it, yeah.
So Coachella is I assume
What's the festival that one of you sent?
Rolling Loud.
Rolling Loud.
That's
that.
they're there too.
That
Are they?
looks
Yeah, I
absolutely
figured that.
amazing.
They have J. Cole, Travis Scott.
Yeah, because it's literally every trap
Lil Wayne.
rap.
Cole's there.
Yeah, Cole's there.
Oh,
He's a
Lil
headline.
Wayne.
No.
Funny enough, Lil Wayne wasn't he not a headliner last year at Rolling Loud?
He wasn't. He's not this year either.
Yeah. So is there a thing? Like, how has Lil Wayne's music kind of been?
Well, he
recently?
just dropped a
Is that why?
mixtape. He dropped 2 mixtapes. He dropped one before Christmas, which was called Dedication 6, and he dropped one
Okay.
after the New Year, which was called Dedication 6 Reloaded, which was crazy.
It was good.
It was crazy. His bars are like back to like Wayne bars. Like
Right.
it was crazy.
That's probably why people
And he
have
had a
been
song with
writing
Drake
them
up there too. It was nice to see Drake and Lil Wayne on the same track again.
So should we be
Oh, yeah.
expecting a lot
One
from
of my
him?
favorite Drake songs has both of them on it.
Yeah, I don't know about that because his label situation is still funky. So I don't know if
Okay.
we'll ever get the Carter 5 ever again. But
Yeah.
that was nice to hear him like go back to himself.
I think
He
it's-
snapped.
I think it's because he's been quiet for so long, and people are just kind of like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now that he's making more music, people are like, okay, like
Yeah, like-
Firefly picked him up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, like seeing Eminem headline so many festivals.
With that trash.
If anyone can tell me, please, why Eminem is it
released
because
an
he has
album.
a
He's
song
Eminem.
called
He
Rap
sells
It's
God, or-
Eminem.
Exactly.
And he
Because he
says
sells
a whole catalog full of fire tracks. You got to
That's
think about
true.
that.
I hope he just
Even
knows
though
his
he just
album
dropped an
sucks
album that
so
was
he
like-
just plays
it wasn't-
his old shit.
I don't
Yeah,
know
what
if
do-
it sucked,
what do you
but it
think
just
about
wasn't
it?
what we wanted to hear. You know what I'm saying?
Anyone else have any criticisms
political?
of his new album?
Okay, yeah.
It was too
I haven't
so,
heard it.
so I only listened to a few, but it was enough for me to dislike it. Like Eminem will forever be a rap god. There's no doubt about
That's
it. He
true.
really is.
That was a song
He's
reference.
one of the most talented rappers of all time. But when you have someone like that in that place that has so much potential, and you see them let it down the way he did, it's not that Eminem's new music is necessarily bad. It's just you know what he's capable of, and he didn't even come close to living up to it. And when you're off for so long, and then you come back and you're not bringing 110%, then it's just disappointment. That's all you really get from it.
That's why people didn't like Views or More Life because
Yeah.
Drake set this precedent with Take Care, and he's been falling off little by little with each album. That's why people.
I'll tell you
do
what
you-
it is. It's generation. It's
Yeah.
a new
It's
generation.
a new generation. They don't want to hear
And-
that political shit.
'cause-
They want to hear Zan's
Yeah.
lean,
Yeah.
dope ass beats,
Because
and
the
like, shit
people
like
we
that.
grew up on, aka like Wayne, Drake,
Yeah.
Eminem,
Jay-Z,
are
Kanye.
kind of been quiet for
Jason
a couple years
Derulo.
and trying to stay
Jason
relevant. They're trying to stay relevant against all these like SoundCloud rappers and all that.
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, but even with it, I mean, Quincy, I
The
remember,
SoundCloud wave is wild right now.
Yeah.
I remember asking you the other day. I said, "Do you think Drake has already hit his peak? Do you think he's done? Like he's gonna make more music?" And
I don't know if he hit his peak.
yeah,
I think he might hit his peak
I think he
like
hit his
Take
peak.
Care. That might have been his peak.
Yeah.
But he still got number one
You
hit right
didn't like
now.
Passion Fruit?
Yeah,
He's
but that's
the number
because his
one hit.
name. Passion
Yeah,
Fruit's
that's
good.
not named like
Yeah.
that's the song was sonically it was really
What
good.
game-
but
One
this
song.
is what I'd argue.
God's Plan.
This
That
is
was,
what I
sonically that's a good song. It's
Oh, the
it's
song?
catchy. Yeah.
The single or the
The
album?
single,
you're
the
talking about?
single,
Yeah.
God's Plan was number 1 on the Billboard charts, and then the other single was number
How
7.
long though?
This just started this week.
When did Passion Fruit come
Oh,
out?
the new shit
Last
he came
year?
out with.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but this is
Passion
what
Fruit came out last year.
This is what
I
I
see what you're saying.
I almost agree with Zach with this. I love God's Plan. I love what is it? Diplomatic. What is it?
Diplomatic Community.
Diplomatic Community. I loved both of them, but like I do. He's not.
He's not what he
he's
used to
not
be.
bringing what he used to. He's not bringing the same.
No, them
He's not
bars.
bringing the same Drake.
Hey,
No,
them bars. Diplomatic Community was
And no,
crazy.
they are.
He doesn't
They're
make you
fine.
want to curl up and cry anymore, Danny?
That's what he wants. He wants Marvin Room
Well,
Drake.
no, I do. I love Marvin's Room. Drake.
You want that best I ever
No,
had.
somebody asked me what's the
not-
theme song
not
to your
even.
life. I said Marvin's Room by Drake.
Marvin's Room doing it wrong. I mean, I do love.
I
those
understand
ones.
that. That's an iconic album.
But
you can
I-
never recreate that classic.
But
of the
what,
album.
what was the
You
whole
can't
album
recreate
with
that.
like Diamonds Dancing? I love.
That was future. That shit was trash.
I know that's a.
That whole
Are you like that?
that whole album was
No,
garbage,
that's
dude.
bullshit.
It was
No.
a future album featuring Drake. That's what it was.
It was still good.
It wasn't good.
I like
It was.
Was
it
that
was
our
forced.
freshman year?
It was forced.
No, sophomore year.
Okay, so you're saying
Oh,
you
yeah, it
like
was our
Drake
sophomore
bars,
year.
but
I
you don't
love
like
Drake, but
But you don't
that
like
was
that
forced.
album?
Listen, I'm a Drake fan. I love every album he Drakes, but critically, like taking myself from it, that shit was trash, dude.
What do you think about Views?
Views? I love Views. I can't say nothing about Views.
But what songs do you like in Views? Is it enough of Views to make the album great, or is it enough to make a few songs great?
I like every song. I can listen to the album from front to back without skipping to any song.
There's 3 songs on an album that I liked. That's it.
That's
Yeah.
it's I guess.
But
But
then
like, I can see why you didn't like it because it's like same old Drake, same old talking about the same old shit. But it's
Yeah.
like same time it's like that shit was
The hard thing to judge some music critically is like sometimes you like music not because of the music itself, but what you feel with the music or the time the music came out and how that makes you feel. Like Views, I don't think was. I love Views. I love
that
Views.
shit, but I don't understand it wasn't his best album.
But when I was
By
listening
far.
to Views, I loved it and I was enjoying myself, and that's when I actually first met you and started hanging out with you.
Yeah,
And that was
yeah.
like I was really digging that like time in my life, and so Views was really cool. But looking back, if I was like in a shitty
too
point in my
occasionally
life, if
suck
Views
Drake's
came out,
dick.
I don't know if it would be the same stuff, you know.
Let's talk about Kid Cudi so Zach can be Phil.
Evolve.
No, I want to hear Austin. We haven't.
Yeah,
Austin hasn't been able to
What's
talk.
your music preference?
What are
I'm
your
interested.
tracks right now?
What you got?
Anything
Yeah,
theater,
it's
music
an
stuff?
interesting question to hear people ask to other people because I'm just like dumbfounded when I hear it. Where people are like, "What music are you listening to? Like what's piqued
Not
your
even that,
interest
like,
now?"
what's your go-to?
Because,
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I don't think about it that way because I just have like a set
It's a
list
tough
of
question.
music and like a set. That like I have a set list of music that is from such a wide range of genres
Yeah.
and is so different that like I could like if I set up a playlist and listen to something, I'll have 5 songs in a row and each one of them might have had something stylistically different about it.
So you don't like listen to the same genre in one place? You like
No,
you like
but-
put
but
different
Any
genres in it?
like artists though?
But artists I like consistently I'll listen to Frank Sinatra.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Consistently I'll
My boy
listen
old
to
Nothing's better than
Since-
hearing Austin sing "I Love You, Baby."
because of the major that I have and because I'm always working on a show that has music in it or because of classes I'm always
Sponsor VCU Theater.
I'm always rehearsing things that involve me looking at music. I'm always listening to music that I can either use in class or use for auditions. So I mean I listen to fucking anything
Right.
except I just because it just is not in my taste. I don't like rap music, which is why I can't even contribute to the conversation about Kid Cudi and
No, it's fine.
I can't contribute to those discussions because not only do I not listen to that music, but when it comes on, I don't like it. But except for like certain things, I'm able to like, I'll hear a line in it and I'm like, oh that was funny or like that was clever, or the music underneath all the words will be pretty cool. And I'll like that, but most of the time I hear the fucking words and I'm just like, I cannot believe that somebody made millions and millions of dollars making
Hey.
this stupid ass shit.
Oh yeah.
And
SoundCloud rapper?
it hurts my
21
feelings to know
Savage.
that
27 is
that
good
there
for
are
all
people
time.
that
He just sounds like he
that
woke up from
bust
his
their
bed.
ass to make
No, I
art,
agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
to make things that are truly artistic.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
definitely
totally
and
agree with that.
receive no reward, but you have these people that just pump out just stupid shit.
I wouldn't say
I would
that not
rebuttal that.
only
There's some rap that people will get deep and shit. They talk about some deep ass shit.
I
yeah.
agree with that, but I think that what I'm criticizing. I should have been specific on what I was talking about. Is the
Mumble rappers.
is more like commercial rap
Yeah. pop
because
rap.
that stuff it's only made for the sake of the person who is making it to make money, and then if you just left it at that, I wouldn't even have that much of a problem with it. But I just think that when you have a whole section of the culture of people listening to that music and having that be like the basis of
Them
their
teenagers, boy.
like
God, are we that old
Artistic
now?
understanding.
Are we that
No,
old?
we're
We're
like-
Yes,
saying
we're
that
old.
We're
stuff?
almost at 30, dog. Don't sleep on us.
We're not. We're not
closer
that
to
close
20.
7
know.
years, dog.
Closer
7
to-
years.
yeah,
7 years.
Okay.
7 years past.
No,
it just I just
but
don't like the fact it just bothers me that
Yeah.
to me, and I could be completely wrong, people could listen to that stuff, just be entertained by it,
Sure.
and then drop it. But to me, it seems like people listen to that stuff and are fucking dumbed down by
I
it.
think it's a
Yeah,
maturity
no,
thing.
definitely.
For sure.
Yeah.
You see these who's listening to this stuff is these little kids who They don't really know the
a
words
party
or
boy.
know what
Like-
any of that stuff means.
Yeah.
They just all their friends are doing it. I mean, that's how we were too.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
I
the
don't-
funniest thing to me. Like whenever Tyler the Creator like references his audience base, I guess he always mentions how like he knows there's like a bunch of teenagers and such.
Yeah.
They're like trying to be edgy and just whatever. But I think Tyler really likes like his most recent album, Flower Boy. Like it's an album for like just him and people that understand him.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of like a viewer base that you deserve to have. But I feel like a lot of people kind of like spread themselves thin and try to like cover as many people as they can. I feel like that kind of like is what hinders people, is that they kind of stretch themselves so thin to make more money rather than
I
making.
think you can also like I feel like every generation says, "Man, new music sucks." It's not. There's no talent in it. There's nothing. But I think every generation brings something to it. And even though like these mumble rappers talking about lean and all that stupid shit, or Xanax, like it a lot of it really doesn't have content. But some of it's not supposed to. And the rappers realize that. Like even Lil Uzi Vert and stuff talking, he's like, "I'm just making shit," you know, like. And I remember when I first started getting introduced to trap, I was like, what is this trash? Like, it's terrible. But what you have to, like, recognize with some of this is some of the music isn't meant to be meaningful. It's supposed to be to get, when you're getting fucked up, when you're getting turned up, when I'm about to go to a party and I'm listening to trap music, it's not because I want to feel something. It's because I just want to get hype. And I know that there's nothing in it. It's just like, it's the feeling that it brings you. Because if I'm about to go out or have fun for the night, I'm not trying to get in my feels. I don't want to listen to Marvin's Room, even though I've done that before, just for joking around. But I just want to be like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go out and do this shit and get crazy.
I
you
agree
know?
with that, and I think that there are plenty of songs in that vein of trap music that I would listen to get pumped up, or like if I'm going out or if I'm at a party. But a lot of times. But I feel like there's just a select number of those songs in that genre that I'm able to do that to. Other ones of them, if the like music underneath, I might be able to like move to, but the second I start listening to the words, I just can't stop thinking about how fucking stupid it is.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
like Gucci Gang is like, it is one of the worst
bad.
songs ever, but
Is that the NFL song where they play with the little kids that are like?
Yeah, I'll let you know how it
What is
goes.
the one where they're like the kids are wearing
Aaron,
like
it goes just like this. Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang,
Yeah, that's
Gucci Gang,
it. That's
Gucci
it.
Gang,
They
Gucci
have
Gang,
an
Gucci Gang.
NFL. They have an NFL ad where the
Oh,
kids
they-
are walking
Oh,
like from
really?
the school bus.
Oh, okay.
Me, I love that song. It's trash, but I love that song. Every time I hear it, it gets me pumped.
the
And
repetition.
It's stupid. And the funny thing is, I hate repetition a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Even in songs, but I just like the song. I like the beat, and it has no value to it, but I just like it because it makes me feel good. And sometimes that's enough for me to like it.
Yeah, I agree that is enough to be able to respect it, I guess.
Oh, sorry for the door noises. We actually have to let Quincy in from his
so
little
Take a
break.
tinkle, you know what I'm saying?
And we're going back to you. I think we went through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We've
so-
went through pretty
Yeah,
much
do
everyone
yours and
except
let's
for.
do like
And it
let's
doesn't
talk
get
about
my
something
preference.
else.
Yeah, sure. We have Quincy after this,
And it
but
doesn't have
yeah,
to necessarily be music that just like a new find. That it could just be music that you're really into
Yeah.
during this time, or
Yeah, no,
something that
definitely.
you just been listening to.
yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
I guess recently I kind of really realized how much I love the neighborhood. I realized people like it have mixed taste about them because they released that, I guess, what is it, 2013 when Sweater Weather came out, something like that, and everyone was like, oh, this is my jam.
Go
This
check
is
it out.
how I feel about relationships. Like I feel like I'm this one person that's there for you like when it's cold and stuff. Holy shit, does the neighborhood have better songs than that? So they are just I love them. I saw them I believe was it 2016 that we saw them?
Yeah, that's 2016.
Uh,
Firefly.
I believe it was 2016.
Yeah, I
summer,
think so.
Yeah, summer 2016 when I first saw him, and it was just
Shout out Jacob.
this feeling of like this group that just kind of is like that sings about things that like you're feeling like relationship wise or like going into relationship wise. It's just great kind of feeling. So I think recently I've been listening to more songs that deal with kind of like relationships wise. Tori Ma is a really great
Oh yeah, they're good.
a really
I
great
like them.
artist. He's fucking, his songs are beautiful, and he has
Is it
one of my
one
favorite songs, "So Many Details." If you're listening to that by Tori Ma,
Is that one guy?
fucking beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He just recently came out with an album, Boo Boo, which is a really great album. Yeah, Boo Boo. Sounds funny.
It's like shit.
No, but it's great. But yeah, so the Neighborhood just dropped an EP. I think it's To Imagine is their recent EP, and I don't know. I love it. I've realized how much I love songs that really get you into that, feeling of what you're going through, and I think something like that is what. Speaking of which, please sponsor us, Spotify. Spotify has this great app, or this great feature called Discover Weekly,
Okay,
which
so I kind of went over this earlier. It's a Spotify. If you haven't heard of it, it's a step up from Pandora.
honestly,
Got into Pandora
huge
about a
step,
week
huge
ago.
step,
Fucking
huge step.
Spotify.
Spotify
People
radio
know
is
what
fucking
Spotify
amazing. Spotify radio is you can make a song a radio from a single. Great, the greatest thing I ever discovered
Right.
last year.
I do have
So-
to say with Spotify,
Yeah.
one of the best features is just making a playlist on Spot. I have about like 3 playlists right now that I have ongoing, and every time I do
Never
listen
been
to
able to
another
do
song.
that before.
Well,
I have, but it's so much easier with Spotify.
it
Like,
also
You did
recommends.
Spotify?
no, I still don't.
Oh,
It also
iTunes
recommends
did it
songs that
first.
you can add to a playlist.
Exactly. Oh, I mean, one of the playlists I had, it was like my like Weekends at the River one. It's the one I share with you, and it's
Yeah,
kind
I
of
got
it's
that
like most of like
Weekends at the River.
2010, 2013. It's kind of like indie pop rock, whatever. I don't. It's such a weird category, but right away it was like recommending a bunch of songs that all fit in it, and it's like it went from like 10 songs that I had to like 50 just from adding straight from that.
this is my OVO sound playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I really realized is Discovery Weekly. You would assume it like bases it off of all of the music you have. And I've added a lot of songs, Gwen Stefani and a few others. But we're just gonna say that like it's based off.
She's marrying Blake Shelton.
Yeah, she's pretty good. And
she
and
actually?
Britney
She
Spears.
is though. She's
Yeah,
marrying
he, like-
Blake Shelton.
He divorced
serious?
her.
Yeah,
he
he's
divorced his
with-
old wife to like get with her because they were on The Voice together.
Well, I guess you could call that a sweet escape. Anyways,
Wee hoo, yay hoo.
anyways, so the Discover Weekly, it's you would think it bases it off of all your music, but it really bases it somehow. I don't know. It's like some magic powers that they have, bases it off of how you're feeling. At least that's how I felt
Yeah.
personally towards it. Anything that I'm feeling, it really just gears me towards like what I'm going through, and just kind of like, hey, how you doing?
So I kind of have a theory for this. I think all computers kind of have like touch sensors in their mouses, and they pick up on your vibes and everything. And there's a Spotify wizard, and he kind of translate your vibes into
Yeah.
music, and he's very
Yeah,
good
definitely.
with this.
Just like a little man in your
Yeah, he really
everyone's
does.
computer.
Complete bullshit.
I know.
No, it's true.
No, I agree.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I think it's.
Yeah.
We're talking about real news now, not fake news.
It's like when I go to Pornhub and exactly the type of porn I wanted to watch pops up as the first
Let me tell you,
recommended
I
video.
found some dank ass porn sites from Pornhub. Shout out to Pornhub.
Please sponsor us,
Pornhub
Pornhub.
is actually a great. Okay, like I'm gonna step in my like
It's not-
advertising.
no,
Okay,
it's
hold
not
on.
serious.
No,
Do
I'm
you
not
get
kidding.
jokes
No, I'm
off?
not- no, I'm
You
not
get
kidding.
jokes off
Okay,
Pornhub.
no, I'm gonna be serious.
I'm not joking
Yeah,
at all. In
but-
an advertising standpoint, Pornhub is absolutely amazing. Every holiday, Pornhub has something up special. It is like, and they're unbelievable with their marketing.
Yeah, they do what Google does, and like how on any special day, Google changes the
Exactly.
the lettering of the
But
page.
no,
Pornhub like
I-
changes their.
Like Google Doodles.
Bill Cosby gets arrested.
Pornhub-
Oh, yeah.
Bill
Yeah,
Cosby.
I don't know.
And
that is.
Pornhub literally has a community. Everybody knows and actually almost respects Pornhub in the same way that Playboy once was. And that
Okay.
it's
Whoa,
ju-
whoa,
I-
whoa,
no,
whoa,
actually,
whoa.
think,
No, hold on.
when people think of Pornhub is generally the first website that they think of.
That's true, actually.
And that was not. It just wasn't the case. Playboy was always up there. That Playboy was porn.
Yeah, well, that's because that was back when people didn't have
Internet
the internet
access.
to watch porn. If
Yeah.
they wanted to see that, they had to buy a magazine.
Yeah,
Right.
but I'm saying for this, I hate saying the word
It's
millennials,
free,
but
too.
for
Yeah.
our generation,
It's free.
Pornhub is
It's
the
essentially
Playboy.
what Playboy would be
Well, you
if
know,
it was on the
it's
you know
internet.
the
That's the
story
thing about
behind
it,
all
it's
those
free.
sites, right?
What sites?
You don't know about that?
What's
So
that?
essentially, like porn stars are kind of getting fucked over, ironically.
That's because people are watching
But,
that stuff. for
Exactly.
free.
Yeah. So pretty much how it started was all the tube. So from what I've heard and read is one guy owns all the tube sites.
Yes.
He
Okay.
owns every single one,
Yeah.
and he like fled the country or something.
YouTube.
Like X videos and
Yeah, like
X-
Red Tube,
all
Red
that
Tube.
other
stuff.
shit,
So
yeah.
pretty much
X
how
tube.
it works
X
is someone will pull something off like the paid sites or like a portion of that video off the paid sites, put it on there so that to get the whole video you got to go to the main site and everything. So pretty much all the porn stars that are signed with like Brazzers and all this stuff.
Right.
that get portions of the money for being signed on there with contracts and like views and all that stuff, basically are getting fucked over because people are watching this stuff for free.
Oh yeah,
for people that pull it off the
It's
website
like music
for free.
yeah, if you go on a like say there's a video on browsers, you try to click on it and watch it, and you won't be able to because you don't have a membership, but you'll be able to watch like a trailer.
Sure. Yeah.
Like a few weeks later, you'll see that same video on Pornhub, but it'll be the full version of it.
Yeah. That's what
So
people do.
there's like a delay in. It's almost like pirating movies.
Yeah,
Almost.
kind of. Yeah, essentially. Because it's like, think about it. If we all pay for a membership, they get equal whatever out of all of us, however much
Net
you pay for
neutrality.
it. But say like
it's gonna get worse.
Say like Aaron pays for it, but he pulls off all the videos for us.
Yeah.
They're only getting money for one membership, whereas there's 5 of us.
Yeah, like the same thing happens with
There's 6
Netflix,
of
where
us, 5 of us.
one person will get a Netflix
Yeah, that's
account,
essentially kinda
and
how it
everyone
is.
will use it. And it doesn't
Yeah.
like I think like
Like when I had that browser's account, I gave y'all all the passwords.
Yeah, that was great. That was awesome. Thank you for that, by the way.
when did that happen?
Summer 2017, baby.
I don't remember
Memphis,
that.
Tennessee.
I remember that.
Anyways,
Because I remember watching a couple videos on
The
there.
Power Rangers giant, the
That
Power
Power Rangers one
yeah,
was
that shit
great.
was actually really good. You know what I'm saying? It's broken up in episodes.
So I'm not.
That's what
I'm
they do with
not-
all of them.
Yeah.
I'm really not huge into porn, but the porn that I do watch.
Lies.
No, I'm not.
He's a parody
but the
man.
Really
porn that
isn't.
I do, I
He's a
love
parody
This
man.
is also a perfect
But
segue
I-
into what happened earlier.
Oh yeah, okay. We'll get back to that in a second. I love parody porn, and it's not for like pleasure myself or anything like that. But I think parody porn, it's so
X-Men
funny.
Apocalypse.
It is pretty funny.
It really, it's hilarious. Like,
The Fresh Prince chick I saw on Pornhub was funny as shit.
but it's actually
Fresh bleached
it's-
asshole of
Had a
Bel
Latina
Air.
chick in that shit. That was wow.
But I think parody
Who's that?
porn is actually very entertaining because not only do you have this like it's like watching a really bad scary movie. Like you have this like bad acting that's really funny, but then I mean there's nudity in it too. So like you can't really dislike it.
It's more than nudity. There's
Oh yeah, I mean
intercourse.
obviously, but I just think it's entertaining. And speaking of nudity and untamed, so Austin and I had a great experience today. Do you want to speak a little more about that, Austin?
Oh yeah, so so Danny's like, Austin, you want to go to the ABC store? No, I don't feel like doing that. I'm like, I'm gonna stay back at the apartment. He goes, and so being at the apartment by myself and thinking that I closed my bedroom door all the way, laid down on my bed and was to enjoy some time by myself, and I hear Danny come back into the apartment, but I'm like, I'm good to continue what I'm doing,
Rocking the rooster.
and.
Choking the snake.
The next thing I know, my door
Beating his
starts
meat.
squeaking open. And I'm like, I have half a second to get this into my pants pulled up and buttoned and whatever else. I got my pants up, but not all the way up, so I had to like pull my legs up into the air and like did not have my pants zipped up yet or the button done.
And so I come
And
in
so
with,
I'm just fucking sitting there with my legs up in the air, and I'm like, do you just walk into people into my room now? And he's holding 2 shot glasses.
And so I imagine going like in my head when I imagine coming in with 2 shot glasses and be like, to our family and friends, like let's take these shots. But he just looks at me and he's like, "Oh, so you're just walking in rooms now?" And I like for a second I was like, "What the hell did I do wrong?" But then when I saw him like unbutton pants and he's like, I'm like, "Oh, well, I understand why."
Yeah.
That might...
Yeah.
Oh, I immediately
Yeah.
told him, I was like, yeah, dude, you just walked in on me.
I mean,
You masturbating.
I've seen more. It was more of just the act itself,
Which is very funny given the fact that we've lived together for 3 years, and that's the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah,
Wow.
hold on. You've been
My sister
caught.
caught me when I was
Yeah,
born.
I feel like masturbating is something
got-
you get caught often.
I got caught. I was sitting at my kitchen table
Yep.
on my sister's laptop.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I don't know.
And the way my house set up, like the front door's right here.
Yeah.
The kitchen table's right here. So like
Okay,
when
so
you walk into
Quincy's pointing to
yeah, I'm
his
sorry.
left.
The front door is like right by the kitchen table. So when you
There you
walk
go. There
in,
you go.
you see the kitchen table. So she walked in. I was sitting there. I heard the door. I was like, oh shit. And I was like, had my pants halfway pulled up. And her friend walked in, and they saw me beating my dick too on her laptop. It was wild.
All right.
Pornhub
see-
open everything. I didn't even read
see,
the history.
Quincy, how old
have-
were you?
I was in, I want to say middle school. I'll say like
Jesus.
13.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I have
Was your
yet.
sister younger or older than you?
She's 2 and a half years older than me.
I have yet
I
to
was in
be.
8th grade. I was 14.
actually
very
yet to
funny.
be caught. So you know those late night like porn, like softcore porn things that come on like with like Stars or like HBO.
Oh,
or
and like
something?
the yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
They come
like
on,
where it'll
the
be
really
like
high
some
channels.
I think it's like a Devil Wears Prada
Cat House was
parody.
one.
They
Cat
have
House
one.
was
Cat House was my shit. in
Yeah.
middle
Okay.
school.
So so
Yeah.
they
I don't even know what you're talking about.
HBO. HBO.
Yeah. That's how I actually ended up starting watching
they
it.
also HBO has real sex, right? That's one of their
no,
one of
yeah,
their
like,
shows.
Oh
So-
yeah, now they have like a whole channel where you can watch.
So with
Well,
me,
Game of Thrones is basically a porno.
Well, yeah,
When-
okay. Well,
Yeah.
you keep bringing up Game of Thrones, Quincy. I want
I
to talk
love
about
that
this.
show.
Quincy, you've
You want-
watched
porn right
5
in the Game of Thrones
seasons
is actually kinda
within
natural.
about a week or two.
Yeah.
How have you felt about the character development? I know a lot of people have.
It's so weird how
It's-
they develop so fast. Like
Yeah.
Tyrion has a beard 1 minute, then he has a beard another minute, then he got fucking slit in his
Spoiler.
That's what
face.
happens when you
Oh, so yeah, spoiler.
binge it.
He got the cut on his face way before he got a beard.
Yeah, he did.
Did he not have a beard within the first few
No,
seasons?
he didn't have a beard till, like, season 5.
He doesn't get the beard till season 5.
Yeah,
So what is he?
he
Really?
has a beard right now. He's with Danny right now.
Okay. Danny is
Daenerys, yeah.
Targaryen of
Daenerys
the Targaryens.
Targaryen,
Right.
Okay,
Spoiler warning.
So here's a question for you. Who's the author again?
George R. R. Martin.
Yeah, he's.
Do you think he has a sibling fetish?
He might have. He
Well,
might
I
have.
think he's
No,
writing
like,
for the
actually-
time.
considering
because that
his-
Lannister shit was wild.
Yeah.
That's he opened the show up with that shit. She was
No,
hitting- he
no,
was
I-
hitting her
I-
stats.
No, I
common.
think it's just an important aspect of the story.
Really?
I don't think it
medieval
has
ti-
anything to do with
Because
him
they
having
carried
a
that shit through
fetish.
season
If
5.
you
Medieval
think,
times,
if you think
they
about
did that
royalty,
stuff.
royalty is
Yeah.
something that travels through the family.
They
If you
kept it to
want
the
to keep
bloodline.
a royal family, would
they
you
should
not?
they used to make cousins though, not like brother and sister.
But
It was
no, they-
cousin
I
shit.
mean,
No, they didn't.
They
I
needed to
read in the
preserve
Bible
the
that it was
bloodline.
It's a
cousins.
plot
All right,
device.
here we go.
But
Typical
that's
reference.
another way
Number
to-
one.
But it's fitting for the
That's what
time,
people
though.
said throughout
Yeah, it's
history.
definitely
But,
fitting for
okay,
the time.
what
So
I'm saying-
it's
Even though it,
yes,
there's dragons
what I'm
and
saying
magic
is,
and shit. But
I understand that it does have a contribution to the story.
And it's
My
even
question-
explained in the lore. Like it's explained that
Yeah,
it's common
Targaryens.
in that universe.
Is it?
Yeah,
So
they,
it's
they,
common.
they talk about how the Targaryens. There's a line saying the Targaryens would. But what's the thing? It's like every time a Targaryen is born, the gods flipped a coin.
Right,
That's
right.
a line in the because of
Yeah,
the fact
yeah,
that they
yeah.
were
so
incestuous.
I guess we're
The
assuming.
brother was like, did you see that intro, Danny and her brother? That
Yeah.
was like, that was weird.
Wait,
she was
hold
like
on.
butt naked. and he
We're
was,
not
like, touching
gonna.
her titties and shit like
we,
that.
Quincy, you realize spoiler alert also kind of applies to you because you were on episode. What episode are you on?
Episode 9, season 5.
Episode
No,
9
you're
of
kinda
season 5. So
farther.
we're not.
Yeah.
We're not gonna try to.
Oh
we're
no,
gonna
we
try
won't.
to.
But one thing I wouldn't go so far as to say that he has a fetish for it.
Right.
But I think that
he also
the
wrote them
inclu-
in 90s.
The inclusion of all that stuff might be that he might have like a more progressive opinion on it or a more liberal idea of what is sexually acceptable. Like he might not be disgusted or offended by the idea of incest. So he might try to like normalize it in his writing.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. I wasn't saying a fetish in some kind of sick way. I just meant like, do you think that is maybe something of his? I mean, like
His
look-
interest.
Look,
Not
at,
so far as I wouldn't say he's interested in
I
it.
would say look at porn these days. Look at the main porn videos that are coming up these days. Going back to that,
Stepbrother,
it's
Stepsister?
Stepbrother, Stepsister. Do you think
Stepmother,
that is
Stepson.
something?
That is
complex.
true.
That's
Yeah,
common.
yeah,
I
yeah,
will say
that is
That
true.
goes back to
Yeah.
psychology.
I mean, and it.
the forbidden
When,
fruit.
it's the forbidden. It's
yeah,
it's the
the,
Oedipus
Do you think
and
it's
the, what's the
something
other one?
that's
taboo?
against the grain.
It's the taboo.
Yeah, it's
shit.
taboo.
How, like,
That's
you-
what makes
like
it-
the
that's
fact
what
that you
makes
want
it
to kill
better.
his
No,
father
I would
and
argue
marry
that
your
he
mother or whatever.
included things
Oh, yeah,
like
that's
that, not as
Oedipus
much for
Yeah.
stories.
That's what,
but
like,
that's something that
people get off.
it's-
Like that's
It's a
kind
learn.
of the psychology
People like
behind it.
it's a learn to see how that works out in like
Yeah.
scenarios.
Like I think it's a
but
thing
they
of.
had 3 kids though. Like that's wild. They had 3 kids.
Who? Oh, you're talking about
Atlantis
Jamie,
is-
Jamie and
They
Cersei.
had 3 kids. That's wild.
Yeah. Well, that show in itself is wild. I
That
think.
whole show is wild.
It's
I
a
think
fantasy.
I think the writers itself are wild
There
because
has to
they don't
be a
know what they're
I'm
doing.
still
anymore.
upset that
Disbelief.
Ingrid died. Okay.
All right.
I did not want her to die.
Spoiler.
Sorry.
It's okay. They're
that's
getting married in
unfortunate.
real life.
Well, Quincy didn't
Are
even
they
pronounce.
actually?
Oh
Yeah.
yes. Okay, that's where.
Well,
Quincy
that,
didn't even
there we
pronounce
go.
the
There's a
name
win
correctly, so they
somewhere.
wouldn't-
Is it
Harrington
Ingrid
and
or
her
Ingrid?
are getting married in real life.
Well, they
Neither.
seem like they fell
What
in
is it?
love on set. I assume, right?
Egret.
Egret.
Egret. Yes,
Excuse me.
Egret.
It's Egret.
Lick my taint,
They
Jon
have these
Snow.
weird ass fucking names. I don't know what the fuck
You
it's
know
called.
nothing, Jon Snow.
You know nothing, Johnson. That's what that.
But he
The
knows.
demon lady. What's the demon lady's
He
name?
knows some things, huh?
Melisandre.
Melisandre. Yeah, she said that as she walked out, she was trying to like fuck Jon Snow, but he was like, "Nah, I'm still in love with her."
Well, she's just
loyal.
like she's.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just
It's
like.
okay. You'll see.
My man's
she's-
Lord Commander.
Hashtag vote
Can I get a
sex.
round of
Yeah.
applause? Jon Snow, my man's Lord Commander right now.
Why do you
know
like?
what I'm saying?
You're a big Jon Snow fan.
I'm not. Actually, my
See,
favorite
funny
character
thing
is
you
Tyrion.
mentioned that. Danny was actually a
okay.
big fan of Khal Drogo. Now, Danny likes to like
You like
claim.
you like
yeah.
Aquaman?
Yeah, Danny has a thing where he.
Okay, so we're not. So this is where we're not gonna.
And now he's gonna
we're
protect
not gonna
himself.
associate with Aquaman or DC Comics or DC Cinematic Universe for that sake.
DC, GOAT.
What one thing
Yeah?
you might know that I love comic book lore. I love comic movies, especially
Fucking nerd.
Marvel Cinematic Universe and all that.
Fucking nerd.
I think
DC
the
movies
correct
are
term
one
is
of the
geek.
biggest disappointments in my life.
Oof.
Live action, not animated. Animated's fine.
Animation's actually really
is
good.
beautiful.
Clarification.
Live
Does
action
Warner Brothers
is
still do it?
Yeah,
I believe
they're
they do,
behind
yes.
all that stuff. Yeah.
I can
So-
only think of one movie of theirs that was good. Two. I can think
The
of
Dark
two.
Knight.
Dark Knight Returns, I think, is one of their movies, right?
I consider that in a different category.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's not
Yeah,
easy.
no,
Because
no,
Christopher
yeah.
Nolan's just a good director.
That's
Yeah,
true.
he's a great director. Dunkirk was. a good
Still need
movie.
to see that.
But the only two DC movies that I can think of that I like are the Batmans that have Michael Keaton
And Wonder Woman.
yeah, those are just funny.
and
I think Wonder Woman is decent.
actually I haven't seen Wonder Woman, so I'd have to
That's
see
pretty
it
good.
and then see what I think.
Pretty good.
Well, I'm a fan
But,
of George
uh,
Clooney Batman.
I liked Man of
Really?
Steel.
Yeah, I am.
Man of Steel was
actually.
not
I
bad.
did like
I really
I
liked
like
Man of
Man
Steel.
Now, speaking of Wonder Woman, I actually have a question that I have to ask you.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I-
Yeah,
and
sure,
I,
go
and
ahead.
I honestly might get criticism for this. So one theory that I have about
Ask away.
Wonder Woman is that, and hear me out, I don't think Wonder Woman was actually that good. I did enjoy the movie, but I think Wonder Woman got a lot more hype than it deserved for the fact that it had a lead female role. I
And-
love Gal Gadot.
But that's
Actually,
it
no, no, no.
deserved that acclaim for that fact because there's no name another movie that has that lead
But-
female role.
oh,
That's
which
why
is- no,
also
I-
a,
what I find
director.
interesting. No,
Female.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Female was director.
That is something that needs to happen more often, and it is with
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
It's coming out.
Black Widow is having her own movie.
Word?
And
Yeah,
it
Black
is
Widow has
happening
her own
as
movie.
much.
Johansson?
It does not happen.
There's
as
also
much as
TV
it
shows
needs
with
to.
Agent Carter and such.
Agent Carter or Agents of Shield.
Carter's
lead-
over.
Technically, the female leads of that show are
it is,
fantastic.
but what I'm saying is there is a need for more female leads. But as a movie itself, if you take away the politics, it is not a fantastic movie. It's not.
Oh, I
great.
disagree
The love
heavily.
story was great.
I
love
disagree.
I love
I
that
would
love
say-
There's
story.
so many corny
I,
moments.
I didn't go in knowing the politics, and I loved it.
It's
Yeah.
a half.
Yeah, I actually
It's a
like that
half
movie, yeah.
rip off of Captain America, the movie.
I would say a lot of it comes.
Actually, what you're saying.
I would say
The whole plot, even some of the cinematography.
Force
and
Awakens a
the
rip off of.
Empire
It,
Strikes Back.
it is, but I would still argue that
Still a
Force
good
Awakens
movie.
is better.
Let's not talk about.
Wait,
let's not talk about Star
or do you mean
Wars.
The Last Jedi?
Yeah, a little bit.
Let's not. Last Jedi is
But
just.
Force Awakens, regardless of a female lead, Force Awakens was a great movie, even if it did copy a lot of everything from the old series. Wonder
The Last
Woman,
Jedi, you mean, is what you meant to say.
No, Force.
No, he's
Force
talking about the
Awakens.
original, The Force Awakens.
Last
that
Jedi.
one,
I like.
one didn't.
Oh,
Didn't
here we go.
what?
Serious Star Wars debate here.
No, I was saying if you're to compare the newer movies to the original ones, Last Jedi is a closer comparison to Empire Strikes
Yeah.
Back
Yeah.
than
Force Awakens.
Yes,
Force
no,
Awakens.
Yeah.
I wouldn't argue.
I was just trying to correct you if you misspoke.
No,
That's
I
all I was
was just talking about Force Awakens and how I liked it.
Okay.
I liked Force Awakens a lot.
Okay.
Regardless if it had a female lead.
Yeah,
but I liked
definitely.
it because it was a good movie. Wonder Woman, I love Gal Gadot. I love the character of Wonder Woman and her backstory.
Gal Gadot.
However you pronounce it.
And rock hard abs.
And she's an amazing actress.
Does she have-
Misogynistic,
does she have
in
rock hard
person,
abs?
She does. And she works really hard too.
Yeah, she has
But
a movie with
the-
a spy movie,
the
right?
She was
movie-
pregnant while she was filming Wonder Woman.
I know, but the
Ooh,
movie itself, I
wow.
would say the movie itself is not that great, but it got more credit because it's a female lead.
Just the
And
same way
there's-
Black
there-
Panther's gonna get a lot of credit because it's all black people. Yeah,
but
or
it's-
sorry.
No,
You know what I mean?
but no, there's nothing. No,
I mean, it's the same thing.
no, but that's what
I
I'm
have nothing
saying.
against
I
that.
think
It's gonna
Yeah.
be fucking awesome. I can't.
yes, support female leads. Yes, support African American leads.
But support them because it
it's
is
an actual good movie.
right.
Well, it's gonna be good though.
So
No, and I believe.
Oh,
it.
I get what you're saying. Still have a critical eye for the movie.
Yeah.
Even though it has
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Like, even though it
Let's
has,
say-
appreciate and support it for supporting the minority,
right.
but judge it as it actually is and
Yeah.
not as you want it to be.
Like let's
Don't
say
put
Jackie
bias into-
Robinson
I
like
see what
put
you
up
mean,
like
yeah.
poor
Okay.
stats
I
in his
agree.
first year as an integrated like what is it?
By
MLB
the way, that
league.
nigga was real.
Jackie Robinson was fantastic.
Yeah.
But if he was mediocre for his first league, he would, I assume, get the same criticism.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you have to.
Talking about
If you want to be
movie,
equal, you got to get
Yeah,
the same. You got to
you have to have the
treatment.
same treatment.
You can't
which
be
is,
like treat people
I
differently.
see.
You can't be
Right.
more sensitive with some people and then harsher with other
So
people.
you have Black Panther, which is coming up, which is actually what date is the
Donald Glover in
release?
that?
It's gonna be February.
2 weeks.
Is Donald Glover in that?
February.
No.
Because he was
No,
in
he's
the
in
premiere.
Lion King,
He's
though.
in premiere.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
he's in the Lion King.
and the new Star Wars.
He's in
But,
everything these days. You don't know.
Yeah,
fucking
so
know
that
anything.
Black Panther, which is coming up, actually perfectly timed Black History Month, which is a great timing for
It
the
started
movie.
today.
And they did.
I think that was purposeful.
they did it.
Which
No,
is
yeah, definitely was.
Oh, yeah, of
which
course,
is definitely,
yeah.
I definitely,
I think
would
that's awesome.
That's smart.
easily.
That's a good marketing
It's a,
play.
Yeah.
One, it's great marketing. Two, I think you know your audience.
Yeah.
But that's but three, also what backing off the Wonder Woman thing, is that essentially something you really want to be broadcasting to? Do you want something where kind of earlier I was talking about the rapper base? Is that something you really want to appease just the audience, or do you want a good movie?
I think they're gonna make a good movie. though. It's
I
Marvel.
think
it's
it
a
is
good
both.
movie.
I believe in Marvel.
But I do have to say, Marvel is playing off as much as they can.
Of course.
Black Panther has one of the, I think out of all Marvel movies, it has one of the highest pre-sale
Yeah,
records.
outsailed
And
one of the Captain American movies, I
promise
believe.
you
It's gonna make a lot of
completely
money.
because it's African American.
Let me tell you,
centralized.
when the black community supports something, they support something. They come out in full force. Look at Get Out. Look at Get Out. Look what happened to Get Out.
But
That was a
hey,
good
hey,
movie,
that was
though.
a
It
good
was a
movie.
good movie. I'm saying, like, look at Get Out, though.
Proof to support Quincy's claim is Tyler Perry is still making movies.
Yeah,
Facts.
but
He's
Get
on
Out
that
was
over
good
Winfrey.
because of the fact that it was. Get Out was good because it used the political issues surrounding race
Yeah, it
were
was actually
part
a
of
good
the
movie, though.
story.
That's
Which
exactly-
is
that's
what I
exactly.
was going to back up when you were talking about earlier, when we were talking about the Chick-fil-A incident and how they were sponsoring charities and such. They're against LGBT.
Connections.
Well, thank you.
Journalism, Aaron.
They also had a lot of pictures of black communities going out to churches that were eating a bunch of Chick-fil-A. That showed pictures of support of Chick-fil-A, of
Right.
going against the gay community. That was also something that happened. So can you say that support is something that's necessary, or should it be support over being quality?
Look, any brand is going to want as much support and awareness as they possibly can.
Right,
So
obviously.
if they have not always, but if they have an audience that is bringing them support, that's bringing them support, that's bringing in money, they're going to want to use that as much
Oh
as
yeah,
they can.
well that's so common in a whole bunch of other areas.
The
Like
theatrical department?
people who this is even true about Trump. If you think about Trump has a specific 18 to 20% of the population that will never leave him, will never stop supporting him. So, and he's gotten to the point where he's like, okay, I can win just off that 20% of people. So I'm gonna, no matter what I do, cater to those 20 people, not lose those 20 people, because I'm not gonna gain the 80% of people. So it's that kind of that same thing, like people,
Keeping your same market.
yeah, people find the audience in the market that responds best to them, and they just hone in on it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I would say that's definitely a big thing.
What I'd say, even you can relate that back to music too. I mean, you have people and I know this sounds off, but think of Disney stars. People so we'll do a throwback to the Jonas Brothers. You know, when the Jonas Brothers probably started as a three band of brothers or whatever, they were
Are
probably
they actually brothers? Because
Yes, they
actually
are.
brothers.
They
They're
were
all
probably
three
like,
brothers, okay.
"Hey, let's make music. Let's do something cool." But when you get signed to Disney and you're having that money come in and you're having this support and overwhelming support by far, they were just three teenage guys. But when you have, they probably didn't want to be like, "Oh, let's have a bunch of 13-year-old girls be our fans."
But that's what became
But
their
it's
fans,
what
yeah.
became, and after a while, once you have that fan base and it's growing and you're getting that support, you just stick with it. You say, "Hey, this is what I am now, and now I'm going to target what I have."
No, I think
towards
they
this."
outgrew it. That's why they broke up.
Well, yeah, but
They did end up outgrowing it, but they lived it for 10 years?
Yeah, while they were also still young.
their
Yeah,
music.
But what I'm saying is, I don't think they started off with that intent.
No, and I definitely would agree. I feel like there's a lot of people that kind of outgrow their audience and really had to adapt. Doctor Who actually
think
recently
that's
came
very
out with
true.
their first female doctor for the show.
Oh, really?
Which, yeah, they actually just released, I believe, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on her name right now. But she they just released the first female doctor for the show. And it's kind of just you see this audience is kind of grasping like this wide range, and it's like, is it a quality thing or is it's time for someone else to represent?
I think it's just the need for a wider range of stories to be told, because I think that what they're trying to be conscious of is they're trying to think of the wide range of people that are going to be watching stuff, and that so that they want little girls to be able to watch something and see a woman playing the lead and know that that's something that they can aspire to. They don't want to. It's not necessarily, I guess, fair for every single movie to depict the leading, ambitious, heroic person as a man, or as a man that is of a specific race or quality. I think it's important to show other people being able to inhabit those qualities, because the wide range of audience members can see it.
So you're saying you want people to see? They want to see themselves in movies. They want to see themselves in movies.
People want to see themselves in movies, and there are more people than just white dudes.
True. Yeah,
I
definitely.
agree with that, but I think there's a certain line, and I've gotten in arguments with people because of this, but I have to bring up the concept of the new Ghostbusters movie, the reboot Ghostbusters with an all.
Okay.
Directed by Paul Feige, I want to say.
I don't know.
So the problem I have with things like this is I don't like when brands or companies or movies,
It's forced.
It's forced. They are not making a movie like that because it adds something to the movie. They're adding an all-female cast for the fact that they know it's gonna make people say, "Oh, it's an all-female cast. Let's go support that." It's the intent behind it.
But it's also, they know that it will cause controversy. The fact that it will get the views it's getting.
But they
because
had to
This is what I'm
use something
saying.
like the Ghostbusters as a martyr to get that going, which is
Right.
dumb.
But
Don't
I
ever.
think if you're going to do a movie with you need to have purpose behind it. If you're supporting a cause, don't do it because you want attention. Support a cause because you actually believe in it and you want to further it. I don't believe you should do something for publicity. I think you should do it because it's the right thing to do. And if you're doing it for publicity, you're not actually supporting it, because you're not bringing meaning into it. You're not supporting any of the cause.
Yeah,
Right.
because I think in that case, the very fact that the Ghostbusters were played by women, I feel like it became a gimmick that the movie was based around, instead of them actually trying to tell a story or make a funny movie.
Right. And you have a lot of that. I feel like just with everything coming up, Black Panther and some of the things, they're just like, people are kind of concerned, is politics or an identity politics really going to get in the way of enjoying a good movie? And that's the big concern. Speaking back on Star Wars and The Last Jedi, the critics and audience score and Rotten Tomatoes there's a huge differential.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
pretty
you have
much
the
trash.
audiences, which is I think it's 48%, and you have the actual critical review, which is 92.
Yeah.
You have such a discrepancy between two, whereas you have a movie like Bright, which has a huge audience score, everyone loves it, when you have a critical debate where they hate it. And it's just such a big discrepancy. What it makes a good movie? Is it the audience review? Is it the critic review? Is it the two agreeing with each
The
other?
best
I got
review
you, I
is
got
one
you.
zone.
To me,
I got
yeah,
you,
that's
Will.
what I was gonna say. Exactly what Zach says.
Yeah,
to me,
'cause-
a movie is as good as the person watching
Yeah,
it thinks
yeah.
it is.
Critics are
And-
trash.
But,
All
and
critics
I
are
hope
trash.
that I can't remember what his last
That
name
person
is
is
off the
trash.
top of my head, but Ryan, whoever he was that directed
Seacrest.
The Last Jedi.
Exactly.
I hope that
Oh
he.
yeah.
I hope that
Ryan.
he-
I forget his
I
name,
don't know, but I
yeah,
hope
I
he
know
doesn't
exactly.
feel discouraged at all
I hope no. I don't.
by
hope
the
it doesn't.
criticism that The Last Jedi has received, because from my point of view, The Last Jedi was amazing. I
thought it was
loved
good.
it.
I liked it.
And so I hope that he knows that while there are those people that dislike something, there are those people that just absolutely loved what he made.
Yeah, I think he was just thrown in because
Ryan
His name is
Johnson,
Ryan
that's his
Johnson,
name.
by
Roger
the
Johnson.
way.
That's right. Wow, we can just keep talking.
No, your audio back up from the mic.
Oh, back up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what was I gonna say? The first movie was directed by what's his face?
J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, same one, and he's directing the third one
Yeah,
too.
so essentially
Yeah,
what
they've pulled
Disney
him
was
back.
going to do is they had 3 different directors in line to direct one each, which I don't understand that. So Abrams did the first one, basically set up his whole universe, had a whole thing of how he's going to do it, and then they
Right.
threw in Ryan Johnson. He kind of screwed stuff up, but it was still a good movie.
it had a
and you got
different
to give him
tone.
credit because he was
Yeah.
basically thrown in there with someone else's, plot ideas, etc. And I'm glad that he's going to be doing the third one so he can pick up those pieces and basically fix. I wouldn't say fix, but kind of
Yeah.
rearrange
No,
stuff. and
I would say Ryan Johnson didn't do a bad job.
For what
I
he
think
had,
for
yeah.
what he had, throwing someone into someone else's vision is always something very difficult to do. When you're put into someone else's like design or whatever, you're really kind of giving a limited grasp of like what you're allowed
it's
to
like
stretch
you
out.
drawing a picture, doing half of it, me
Right.
coming in, finishing it, and then you coming back and being like, "What?"
Yeah, like it's
You're
like,
just like,
yeah,
what?
it's like any
Not
drawing.
how
or
I
like,
saw it
yeah,
being.
it's a vision that's deterred because
Yeah.
you're throwing in someone else to add to it.
It's like having a sex robot that doesn't fucking work. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd agree with that part, but
What's wrong with that, bar, dude? Like,
just the idea.
it's like you got a sex robot in
It
your
just
room.
wasn't comparable
She's
to
laying
what
there
we're
on the
talking
bed,
about.
at all.
and you finger the sex robot and just
No,
not working
okay.
out.
All right, well,
Chill.
I'm just reaching a different, but yeah, no, I completely agree. I think I think for the third movie, I think a lot of people are really expecting it to return to its roots of like the original Star Wars films.
And I think the people that have low expectations now, I think that's a good thing because
But-
now it's gonna probably be pretty good.
But to me, I
Talking about
want
the
it
third
to.
one?
Yeah,
but
last
see,
one.
to me,
The ninth movie. Yeah,
I'm
No,
not
okay.
looking for the same thing that I got in the original Star Wars movies. I've loved
Most
the
of them
Star Wars
different,
movies,
yeah.
all
True.
of them from since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And what made me like The Force Awakens so much was because it was like a reboot, but it was a new direction in which the story
Yeah.
could go, and so it still was in the universe of the old movies and had the characters, so it was still connected in that way. But I didn't care where the story went because I don't know. I've almost like interwoven my own life and like Star Wars, so I kind of like the future of Star Wars. I kind of like view as how I view the future of my
Right.
own life. I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen next. I just want to fucking find out.
Yeah,
It's
if
like-
you
it's
think
like-
about
it's
like
like-
George
but
Lucas's
it's like-
original plan, like the original trilogy is a lot different than
Oh yeah.
what you would. Well, I guess the prequels, and in
yeah.
a sense where George Lucas kind of like wanted to create a backstory for everyone, and the backstory really
I have a question,
differed
though.
from the original
I got a
universe.
question though. But do you think
sure.
that they're stuck in nostalgia? Like they're trying to like
Yeah.
bring back. They're
Okay.
like stuck on the past. Like they have Leia in it. They have
Hey,
Luke in
nostalgia
it.
sells.
They're
Well,
like
it's
trying to
just like a
and the stuff
marketing-
it does sales, but it's like, but we're trying to move the story forward.
can only milk
it's
it so
not moving the
much.
story because you got these
Let me
old
take
people
a
in the
second.
same.
But I
thing.
think it's to say that those characters are still relevant.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
their stories aren't over.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
let me I love the new Star Wars, both Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, and I know Austin, for you, like you're a little more involved with Star Wars, but for me, like I want Star Wars. I want it dead. I want it to be done.
Okay.
And I'm upset that they're making a Han Solo movie, Obi-Wan
Which doesn't have a
movie.
trailer yet.
It does not. But I am actually upset that they're doing it. And for me, it's almost one of those things. Like, I love Force Awakens, love Last Jedi. I do want them to make a third one just so it can finish it off. But it's something, it's like, when you have something good, just leave it. Just
Right.
keep it as it is. Let it be a treasure.
Okay.
And that it.
You
But
can't do that. Simmons don't do that.
I know,
You won't do that,
and I
Simmons.
know they won't do it. But I told Zach this earlier.
That's why there's a culture too.
Exactly. But even with like Marvel
Apparently they
Cinematic
spent
Universe,
45 minutes on each song. That's all they did. They rushed the shit out of
it
that
sounds
album.
like it.
It'd be like if they brought Indiana Jones back, and, like,
And
they're
they
trying to, like-
did.
and they did, and what happened?
and it was
not that
terrible.
good.
It's
And what
awful.
I'm saying is sometimes
Garbage.
you
It was
just
good
have
until
to,
the aliens.
You have to understand
Mm-hmm.
that you have something great and valuable and something that will forever be a treasure in cinematic universe, and just keep it at that and move on to something else.
Like
Because-
Lord of the Rings.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think Amazon is actually bringing back.
Are you serious?
They're bringing back a new series on the Lord of the Rings.
But this is what I'm saying.
Why?
Sometimes you just need to
And they bring back
appreciate
Harry
the
Potter,
past
too.
and come up with
They did
different.
a spin-off Harry
Yeah,
Potter.
that's a
I
lot
agree.
different,
It's,
though.
Harry
it's
Potter.
important to create new stuff and not
Piggyback off the old
drag
shit.
out.
Yeah.
Because what I think the root of it is laziness. Because I think people
Yeah.
want to just
Yeah.
they want to cut out all the creative work that they have to do and be like, oh well,
Copy-paste.
we have the cushion of this story we've already written. Let's just fucking do new stuff with
Well,
it instead
I read
of
a
actually
book.
having to think and write something new.
I read a book in my class over the winter class. It's
Okay.
called "What Makes Sammy Run." And what he basically did, he got rich off of turning one movie, changing a couple shit in it, and then like reproducing it as like another different movie, different
Okay.
title. It's like that's what they do the same thing right now.
Yeah, no.
well, I agree, but
Essentially.
I would honestly say the last 15 years in Hollywood has been reboots, and that's what's funded Hollywood for the past.
I
15
think it's
years.
because they had such success with those nostalgic series. Where like, if you think like from years on from now, if you think about something like Avatar, which actually I think they're coming out with the second movie in
they are,
2020.
but he's
there should not be three
I hope so.
hangovers. Like there shouldn't be.
Yeah,
There should not be
Yeah.
three hangovers.
If you think about
Hangover 1 is
Fucking
enough.
Cars.
Exactly.
Point across.
Cars has 3 movies, which
Exactly.
also should not have. They also have I think they have a
Now,
spin-off series of
Now,
movies.
I would argue
like
Toy,
planes, yeah,
I would
planes
argue that
and
Toy
stuff.
Story
Yeah.
1,
Yeah.
2, 3 are great.
Toy Story 3 was sad as fuck.
I'm
Toy
sorry.
Story
3 was
amazing.
good.
Look, Toy Story 3 was the, and I hate to sound so dramatic about it. Toy Story 3 was the perfect send off. It was the best.
Oh,
And
they're
guess
making a
what?
fourth
Guess
one.
what?
They're making a
They're
fourth
making a
one.
fourth.
And you know what? I'm
because
skeptical.
money
but
makes
it's
the
Disney
movie business
and
go
it's
around.
Toy Story, so
but Disney
how
has-
bad can they really
That's
fuck
Pixar.
up?
but
That's
that's
Pixar.
unnecessary.
But Disney and Pixar have such
No, I know.
an
That's
imaginative.
Pixar.
I want to work for them one day. They have such an imaginative cast and team that they can create anything beautiful that they want to.
It's-
but yet they're still continuing projects that are 20 years old.
Incredibles
that,
2.
that need it. Oh, Incredibles
Yeah.
2 needs to happen.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
but the worst part of it is if you think about something like Pixar's done, like Pixar does sequels every now and then, but it's not popular. The idea that Disney itself are making, I think they have a Frozen 2 lined up, right?
Yeah,
That's correct?
I think so.
So they have a Frozen 2 lined up. Disney never really remakes their Disney princesses. They're usually limited to one movie,
because it was so popular.
and that's it. And-
I would argue that
I
because
can-
they're doing a live remake of every movie that they've ever come out.
There's a sequel of about every Disney movie that
That
has a
you've never heard
princess.
of.
Never heard of it.
There's a Little Mermaid 2.
Mermaid
There's a
2, yeah,
Lion
yeah,
King
yeah,
2.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
a Mulan 2.
yeah,
There's a
There's
Lion
a-
King 1.5.
Yeah,
That I had a movie
But,
DVD.
yeah,
but these are all none of
There's
these are
probably a Beauty
theatrical
and the Beast,
releases,
too.
right?
No, they're all like
they're like
they're all
DVD,
straight to
DVD shits.
Right.
Yeah.
It's things for
some of them.
Oh,
are
you're meaning
VHS.
things that are like big commercial
like
projects.
big commercial, like
Oh, I
you're
see what you
thinking
mean.
sequels to like one of their big princesses. They never want to ruin the image they initially created, so they create like these TV like reboots or anything.
Money,
or where
Oh
it's
yeah, like they did with
Money.
Aladdin.
right.
Yeah.
It's a small reboot. It's not something that's like gigantic as something
You're fired.
like you
That's
would
our
say.
president
The like these Lion King, the Lion King live action remake or anything like the Beauty and the Beast live action
I think the
remake.
Lion King will be good though.
Do you-
Jungle
excited
Book
for
was
it.
good.
But what
Do you
what-
see the
I
cast
didn't
on
see
that
Jungle
shit?
Book. They had Beyonce in that shit.
Okay,
Donald
They had
Glover,
Beyonce in that
Beyonce.
shit.
this is
Dude,
why
the Jungle Book was
Beyonce.
good.
Yes. Okay.
They've got the guy
cast, they have
from
Beyonce.
12 Years a Slave playing Scar.
Yes,
Exactly.
What I'm saying, oh yeah, they have all these characters, but guess what? It's the
They have
same
James Earl
fucking
Jones as
movie,
the,
same plot, everything. It's just live
Mufasa.
action. It's
No,
this,
no,
it-
wait,
no,
no,
it's
no, I would
different
not say
actors.
that,
There's a
because-
totally different
The only
story.
new
There's
actor
totally
is-
different
or
choices
the only
to
same
be
actor is
made
James
by
Earl
the
Jones.
actors.
He's playing Mufasa.
How is it a different story?
The Beauty and the
they did the
Beast
same.
did it have the same
Because
exact
there's
did it
different
have the
people
same exact
telling
plot?
it.
Yes, the same with
They're
Jungle
also
Book.
fairy tales, and
It's
you can't
the
really
same
change
story.
them all that
There-
much
I-
if you're
yeah,
staying
okay,
close to
there
the
is
source material.
something beautiful about using new technology
Right.
to bring the movie about. But
Okay.
what if they use that technology to bring to life a new
To
story?
slave us all.
Something
Because nostalgia gets money
It
and
does.
Disney's about their bucks.
But exactly, and
I
that's
think
what,
it's
that's
because
what
it's
angers me.
to maybe it's giving them the benefit of the doubt and putting the idea of making money aside. Maybe it's to say, hey, the old generation got to experience this really cool movie when they were young. Let's have a whole fucking
Well, let's
marketing
make it better.
production around
Yeah.
the movie and let's make it new.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I
know
agree.
Disney has come out and actually said something like you're not wrong at all. Disney has said
And
that
they
said
wanna give the new
want to bring the
generation.
same experience to a new and younger generation, and I don't think that's wrong. But I think you can still have that same experience by bringing new and stories that are more relevant to today. I watched Pinocchio for the first time again, and since I was a child, and Pinocchio makes no fucking sense, but it's still a great movie, and it's not relevant to anything today. So, but what I'm saying is I think they can still
How
do
many,
the same thing.
Toys do you know that come to life? Is that relevant today? Oh, no.
I've seen
Oh, is that
several.
money dropping knowledge right
It's
now?
not relevant. No, I actually like the Jungle Book. I thought it was cool. Hey, you know what, Disney? You keep doing your thing, because I'll keep going and watching
That
the
was
movies.
also not the first live-action Jungle Book that they've made.
No, it's
Really?
not. That's the second one.
Actually, yeah, maybe.
What was the first?
I have
The
seen
first
it.
one,
I think I know what you're talking
uh,
about.
I remember I had the VHS of it when I was a kid, but
My
it was
grandma
called The
loved
Jungle
Jungle Book.
Book, and it was like a live action movie, and
The animals sing and talk.
no, the animals there was no
No.
music in it.
Oh.
But it was just like a movie version, like a full with real people, live action version.
Was
of
it
the
a live
cartoon.
Tarzan too?
Yes,
But
there
that was something
Yeah.
newer. I'm thinking of something that came
Or
out in
there's
like the
also
late
George of the
90s.
Jungle,
Because
which
the,
is-
the original cartoon Jungle Book came out
80,
decades ago.
yeah.
I think it was either like it could have been the 50s,
Did you see
60s,
the
I
newest
don't know.
Jungle Book?
I've seen
Oh,
Yeah,
clips from it.
I
It's
actually
cool,
saw
right?
that.
Yeah,
It's
it
good.
looks-
It
it
was,
looks
the
good, and
music
I-
was really
When
good,
did that
and
come
a
out?
What I did, I saw
couple
it
years
in
ago, Jon
theaters.
Favreau actually directed it.
Really?
Well, I saw it in theaters, and it was a good movie. But I left, and I was like, well, that was interesting, I guess. It was like one of those things. It was like, oh yeah, like that's cool, but
You see it just to see it.
yeah. And-
But I mean, that's.
I didn't-
at the
I mean,
end of
I
the
didn't
day,
see it
that's
in
what
theaters.
but then again,
but
I
I
do have to
saw
say,
it,
I guess we're
I
not
didn't pay
the
to
market
see it.
for it.
But they made a Finding Dory.
But, okay,
that
yeah,
was pretty
Finding
bad.
Dory was trash.
It was kind of
terrible.
bad.
And there was so much hype leading up to that.
Yeah, it was.
It's like a
They played at the
10-year
Bird Theater. They played Finding Dory at the Bird Theater. That's how much hype it was.
It was like a 10-year
I saw it on
thing.
Netflix, and I was disappointed that I wasted my.
I remember I walking in the house and y'all were watching that shit.
But like,
And it
let's
was, the
say
ending was trash. I know the whole thing had to be trash.
I also didn't grow up on Finding Nemo. I grew up on like
Oh, I
Toy
did.
Story.
My-
and-
yeah, I mean I watched
my-
Finding Nemo in school. Like,
Incredible.
that
So
shit was
both
like,
my
a big
my
deal.
dad and I are really kind of emotional
Brother
when it
Bear?
comes to stuff like
Brother
that.
Bear's good too.
And I remember like my dad watched Finding Nemo because he liked it and he cried in Finding Nemo during that part. Yeah, but like Finding Nemo was such a great movie and it was
a good
emotional
movie.
and it was good. But Finding Dory, it was just like. It's almost like an intern wrote the script in what, a day or something and said, oh hey, how about this?
because
Like Justice League.
because I think it was
Yeah,
just an
well,
attempt by Pixar to make money off of the success they had from Finding Nemo.
See, I
Completely.
honestly don't agree with that at all. I don't think they cash grab on purpose. I think they actually do try to do something different with sequels. I don't think it's for the money at all.
So watching Finding
Exactly.
Dory, you would
Everything's
say
for
there
money.
was actually
Well,
talent.
obviously everything's for the money. People gotta, feed their families and
Yeah.
shit. But it's not their sole intent is to not say, ho, we made so much money off this first one. Let's double dip and make the second one. I don't think that's their main intent at all. I mean, some of the sequels were but like, I feel like they were kind of needed.
Okay, so you're telling me with a whole team of developers and tons of money, you're saying Finding Dory, it went through and people said, you know what?
That's the best idea we could come
This is
up
the
with.
best we can do. This is
Yeah.
the best story we could do from.
They don't have just one team working on one movie.
But that's
That's
what I'm
even-
saying.
even
That's
more, to
even
his
more.
point.
So
20
it
minutes?
went through hundreds
Just
of
say.
people.
200?
11.
Okay.
Oh.
We have to 11.
Okay, that's fine.
You're telling me it went through all of those people of executives and everything, and they said, "Oh no, this is great. We're gonna do this because it's a great story." No, they did this. They said, "Oh fuck, people loved Finding Nemo.
They'll love
Let's make
Finding
it.
Dory."
We're
Get
gonna
the
love
interns
Finding
in.
Dory."
Yeah.
And they did. When we first
You tell
found
them to
out
give me a
Finding
coffee.
Dory was coming out,
Thank you.
we said, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna go see that." Not even knowing the plot, not knowing anything. The title itself
I didn't
was
sell
enough.
out. I didn't go see it.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but
I
I'm
didn't see it
saying,
either.
but think about Incredibles 2. We saw what?
I'm going to see that shit.
1 second of the movie. We know nothing about the plot, and besides the fact that it starts after the second movie. But I'm gonna see that. In
So you're
theaters.
gonna say if Incredibles 2,
But-
if you say Incredibles 2
Second
is as
point, though.
good, you're still gonna disagree and be like,
Exactly the point though.
No, he
you know
does.
what I
Because,
mean?
like, they-
Are you
they're
only
like-
saying that because it was a bad movie, or are you saying that because it was a sequel?
But like they're
Well,
saying,
I-
they're selling it off based off the name. They're not selling it based off it's going to be a good movie or not. They're selling it based off the name. So
But
that's
the-
up to you to decide if it's a good movie or not.
But
So I
they're
think there's still
also-
some integrity in
and-
that.
It's not
So
a
I-
reboot. It's straight. I believe they're
it's
continuing
literally
right
like
from
10 minutes after the first
It's
one.
Yeah,
10
and
minutes
so,
at the
so
first.
I am a hypocrite for saying, oh, they're just trying to make movies, so why are we going to support something like that? Like, why are we going to support Finding Dory if it's
Confirmed
just a
hypocrite?
sequel? Yeah, confirmed. Thank you. Put that on my Tinder bio. But no.
Delete it, Tinder.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
No, I did. You can check my phone. But and I am a hypocrite for that. But that's why they're making money, because there's people like me that are gonna say, oh, they're just making money, but then still goes out and gives the money to go see it.
You can't say that. That's kind of a broad term. I don't go to my job because solely on making money. Some people like going to their jobs and they like doing what they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, but
I think
I fucking hate Home Depot.
the real.
Well, okay, that's different.
Well, there goes that.
Well,
That's different.
I
There
think
goes
the big
the Home Depot bag.
I
Home
think the
bag is gone.
distinguishing mark is like whether you want to enjoy it or whether
Yeah.
you do enjoy it.
If you enjoyed it, you're gonna support the movie. If you
Right.
didn't like it, you're gonna say, "Oh, these guys are in it for the money."
I don't know. I
Right.
think it's
Shout
just
out
that
Home Depot.
people, that those companies, it might be because they work on so many projects at one time that when it comes to something like, are we going to do Finding Dory? Are we going to do a sequel to Finding Nemo? That there's not that much.
I think people
There's not
just
that much work that goes into it, so it seems like it was.
well, they waited 10 years to do it.
Yeah.
Took them 10 years to make the movie.
So I get it. Maybe it appears
Just like how they did
that
with
they
Toy Story
only
3.
did it for the money because just the lack of quality of the film and then the lack of work that went into it. But maybe that was just because they were focusing on other stuff, but were like, oh, we still want to do this Finding Dory
And you
movie.
can't say
Or
that
maybe-
they. You
I-
can't
maybe
say
they're
that
gonna-
they come up with unoriginal things by doing sequels. Moana, Frozen was really good.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
per-
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I, lo- I
but that's
love
not
all-
Pixar.
But they all
Yeah,
have sequels.
absolutely.
Though. They all have sequels.
No,
They all
Pixar-
have sequels.
I don't-
Yeah,
I don't
Disney,
believe- I
yeah,
don't
But
Disney.
listen, this is
Disney.
what I'm saying.
I guarantee all the movies have
Disney,
sequels.
yes.
Moana,
Yeah,
I
well,
like,
they're all
but this is
Pixar,
what I'm
aren't
saying.
they?
Moana, I
I
like
don't think
because it
Moana's
was its
Pixar.
I think
it
all
was.
the animated movies
It was.
that they make are all
let's-
Pixar.
I think Moana was Pixar.
Pixar is
Quick
owned by
fact check
Disney. It
moment.
doesn't matter.
Coco was.
Yeah, Coco. That's the
Coco,
other
what
one.
about
Coco
Trolls?
I heard was fantastic. Oh, wait, Box Trolls?
I don't know what's wrong. I
Oh,
was like,
I don't know.
Up.
I don't know what.
But okay,
what
but,
There's a ton
but
of 'em.
Moana
Yeah,
I liked because it was
Yeah,
an
Up.
original story, and
Yeah,
that's
Up
what
too,
I
yeah.
like.
Inside
Finding
Out.
Dory was different, and I think you can like a movie and say, oh, they only did it for the money. I think the same about Force Awakens and Last Jedi. I don't think they did that because they wanted to really expand the universe. I think they did it because they knew they were going to make more money. But fuck it, I love both movies.
Moana is actually not a Pixar film.
It's not.
Oh, it's not?
Excuse me.
It is
I
not.
What is it?
misspoke.
It's a Disney.
It's just a Disney film.
Oh, I didn't know that they.
Kind of like Frozen.
Well, who
Yeah.
animated
Frozen
it?
Disney too.
It's just like Frozen.
So
Disney has their own
Disney
animation
owns
studio.
Pixar, but
Pixar did their own shit.
Pixar is their own.
Oh, okay.
You can tell
Hmm.
Pixar like Up. That's a Pixar movie. You can know that. You know it's a
Yeah.
Pixar movie.
Same with Wally.
Yeah.
Yeah, same
I
with
never
Wally.
saw Wally.
Wally is a- Wally's a
Wally is
wonderful
one of
movie.
the most fantastic.
I would
Pixar
say
movies.
that Wally was probably Pixar's last great film.
Yeah.
I think of all time, it was one of the best.
It was easily.
Because Wally is not only great because it's a movie, but and I hate to be this VCU student, but it is a great social
VSU,
commentary.
also known as Virginia Commonwealth University,
Also
Or
known
PCU.
as PCU as politically correct university.
also known as that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing
but
wrong
there
with
We
is.
love you guys, all of you,
Honestly,
Not
great
everyone.
crowd.
especially with the color hair.
But I think there's nothing wrong at all with liking
Come on.
Wally because of that socio-political commentary that it had, because I think that was part of it.
It's pretty
Oh,
interesting.
completely.
Yeah, I think there's what's considered ham-fisted and what's not. I think a lot of political commentary in movies is whether it's necessary. I think some people will ham-fist the idea of this idea needs to be brought up. It's important. Everyone shits on it.
Disney.
Can you
Something like that.
can you elaborate what hand fisting
We went
is?
from porn to deep
Ham-fisting,
Disney.
kind of like the idea of beating over the head. I think Modern Family is a show. I think on ABC.
It's off
Where-
after the season.
Is it off after the season?
Wait, what?
Modern Family was fantastic.
It is a show that has
No.
a great
I never even watched
has
it.
great execution, but failed after a time. Similar like Glee, where they beat you over the head with the
that
idea
same-ass storyline.
of the same ass storyline where this thing is tragic and it's not. They'll have I believe it's Mitchell and his husband. I can't remember his name.
Don't spoil.
I will.
Actually, I'm not
okay.
gonna watch it.
Don't spoil.
Okay,
Okay.
so-
We've
Spoiler-
spoiled
Yeah.
way popular shows.
I'm not watching that shit.
Multiple
I think,
times.
I think the first spoiler alert
but
should just tell you the whole episode's going to be a spoiler. But anyways, so
really even a
I believe his
plot?
name is Mitchell, and he's married to his husband. I
What
can't
show we
actually
talking about
remember.
right now?
We're talking about Modern Family.
Okay.
And
Mitchell is the
redhead husband, and his husband. It's actually, I think he's a pretty good actor. I forget what other films he's in, but the two of them are these happy, they're happy homosexual couple.
They're married.
And yeah, they're married, and one of the actual, I think it's season 4 or so, where they actually get married, and it's just a great wedding, and it's like everything about their characters are great, but it's kind of the idea where you get oversaturated on something, like where you beat over the head, kind of like Glee, where they're like, these people are like in a Glee club, and they're like, they get shit over by the cheerleading club, and it's like the idea of like,
And jocks. Don't forget
yeah,
jocks.
like they had to remind you that these characters are this certain type.
That,
where
I-
cliche high school bullshit.
I would.
Well,
I
that
would
might be
something like
because
that.
in high school you do deal with stuff every day.
Yeah,
That's true.
Day
That's
after
true.
day
I would
after
almost
day.
disagree
Yeah.
with that. Like I didn't watch Glee, so I can't speak for that. Modern Family
it's not like they're beating you over the head. That's their life. Of
that a
course,
sitcom stuff?
if they're getting married, that's
It's a comedy. I'd say it's a comedy.
It's
show.
sitcom.
It's a
Situation comedy.
sitcom
That's like
comedy, yeah.
Situation
But
comedy.
them
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
married isn't
Situation.
anything other than it's just their story as characters. They've been together. They I think in the first or second season they adopted a young child. So them
Does it
getting
have a laugh track in it?
No, no,
doesn't.
no. Actually,
okay.
that's one of the
Okay.
best things about the show
It's
is
not
that it
sitcom,
does
then.
not
No,
have one.
Modern
It's a drama.
Family is a really great show.
It's not a
And
drama, but it's
I don't watch it anymore, but I
not a
watched it in
drama.
its first couple of seasons, and it's a fantastic story. All the characters are really nice, and what we were talking about earlier, it is one of those few shows that even with the title Modern Family, it's one that doesn't force anything upon you. It's not saying, "Oh, we have these characters on here because we're modern, we're cool." We're hip to new trends. It has because it literally is. It is a modern family. It's everyday life of different people, in different backgrounds, and that's what I like about it because it doesn't overplay it. It just plays it as it is. So two men getting married, it just that happens.
What about you have like a friend of 5 who has a podcast, and one of them is not shaving their mustache and looks like a fucking pedophile?
Okay,
what do you do
well-
about that?
Well,
Well,
I can't
that's
control.
that's a bit specific. I think. I'd
I
say.
just, bro, shave.
Dude, I didn't shave yesterday.
I see.
What
I
Quincy
see.
is pointing out is
Quincy,
the fact that
Danny was making a
uh,
really nice point, and then you interrupted him
yeah,
to
Yeah, I
insult
did.
him
I'm gonna say
Thank you.
and call
No
him a
fucks.
pedophile.
we're gonna say
Not a
that
care in the world.
that was unintentional.
I still don't care.
That was unnecessary.
Still don't care.
Wow. So speaking of Quincy, I feel like we haven't talked about your music taste. we went in a whole
Danny, go
hour.
ahead.
Oh yeah, Quincy. While you're at it, tell us
Quincy,
what kind
what-
of music you
tell
listen
us-
to.
Yeah, catch
Music
us up.
taste?
Yeah, catch us up.
I like that slow, smooth R&B. That shit that like gets you in your feelings. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
Roy
But not
Woods.
not
Like
like
Roy-
your feelings, your sexual feelings. Like
So
that slow bump and grind
Right.
shit right there. Like that's what I like.
You've recently said the Roy Woods recent
Yeah,
album
Roy
is
Woods.
really
Roy
good.
Woods, Say Less. It's dropped December 1st. You should pick it up.
Okay.
It's not really that slow R&B vibe. It's like that teenage vibe, that
Right.
teenage shit. Because
What
it's like,
is
he's
like-
like 20, he's like 20, 21, but he's still
Okay.
like on that young shit.
Oh, okay.
But I think when his music matures, it's gonna be really, really great.
Yeah.
But I really like. I'm an OEO
Is this
sound
his
fan.
sophomore album or is
This
this
is his third album. His fifth project, but his third album.
his fifth project, third album? Okay,
No, wait, not
cool.
his fifth project. It's his fourth project.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah,
So,
and I'm really big on Mitch Jordan.
Mitch Jordan.
Tristan, yeah, that's the alternative R&B right there.
Yeah, they are.
That's that electronic. They wanted to go old school with that Gave Your Love Away and the OG
Yeah.
Heartthrob. But I like that kind of.
Do you like
music
their
right
new album a lot? How
there. I love their new
how's-
album. I think it's better than the
Oh.
first album.
Okay, so I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say
It's way better.
okay.
Okay.
Opinion,
Oh,
but
there we go. Opinion.
Opinion.
I love
I think I might walk up to Starbucks and see if I can get a brownie.
go for it.
I'll be back.
I do love their new album a lot. But I am biased in saying that I love their first album more because of it. Like, so I've said this before. All I Do by Majid Jordan was the first song that I've ever heard by them, and I can never. It'll always be their best song for me.
What song is that?
All I Do by Majid Jordan.
Okay, all I do.
And I did love their new album, and it's funky, it's nice, and it gets you in your grooves. Gave Your Love Away is just like I was just when I put the headphones on just a second ago. That was the first song I played because it just like the second the beat drops, you're in it, and you're in it for good. But I wouldn't say it's as good. I think that their first, well, it's not technically their first album, but their first singles and releases. There's much more of a variety, and that usually happens with EPs. But I do like the variety with it. Go from a song from King City to Chill Pad Deluxe, and it's such a different feel, such a different vibe, and I like that about it. I like being able to have different feelings and different context to every song.
Right.
And that's something in their newer album. It would naturally it's all one flow. It's one continuous
Right.
kind of story, and I think we even analyzed that when we listened to it the first time. But I do like that change,
Right.
change in all of it.
Like a lot of albums that are released are usually uniform. They're usually kept
Yeah.
to one kind of, I guess I would say medium, where they're held to a story.
Yeah, and so another artist that I know at least Quincy knows, Brent Faiyaz. I think he's a new and
Yo.
developing artist. This
Yo.
dude has the voice of an angel. He's amazing. You'll probably most recognize him.
Sonder?
Sonder.
Son.
So you'll most probably recognize him from the Gold Link song
Oh,
Crew.
yeah, Gold Link.
And so he does the chorus for that.
Okay.
And that's honestly the best part of the whole song, and that's why
Yeah.
you recognize his voice.
Okay.
He has such a soft, and it's so angelic. It's really beautiful. But so he released his first album, and there's a mix to it all, and there's after
like a
every
story to it, right?
yeah,
Like a skit.
every song there's almost a skit at the end. He's talking with a group of his friends, almost like we are now,
Right.
and he kind of talks about a preview and gives you a little information about why he wrote the song or something about it.
Okay.
But each song has its own. You get something almost like a early 2000s tropical vibe to a smooth R&B. You're just about to pull it, and it's really good. But then Sanderson, I'm still trying to get into, and that's the struggle with it, because I love his voice so much, even though he hasn't released a lot. But Sanderson is all kind of the same vibe, and it's hard to get into when you can't differentiate the songs.
Right.
And I think
it
that,
all sounds the same.
not exactly, but at the same time, yes.
Yeah.
It's all the same. vibe.
Were you saying Sampha?
No, Sampha is.
Sampha.
Sampha's a whole nother. Sampha is.
Yeah, you won't get
He
much
has
spiel.
one album out. That's correct,
It's,
right?
Sampha
One
has
album?
what's it-
more
what's it
than
called?
one album.
It's more than one album. It's
He's more than
this
one album.
process-
Sampha's
this album.
newest album was Process,
Yeah.
which was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Sampha's been
Wonderful
around for
artist.
a while.
Yeah.
He's worked with God, what's it? SKRT. I forgot, but he used to work primarily with
Subtract?
No, I forgot the name. That actually might,
That might be it.
But
What?
he used to
Subtract.
actually be mostly techno based, but he has a little more bit of a what do you even characterize, soul?
Kind of like a
voice
techno
now?
soul?
Soul,
you
that's
said?
No, not even anymore. Like
Just plain
I'm
soul.
saying now it's
I don't
it's
want to say it's soul. I say it's like
coffee
I
music.
think
Like it's like
Coffee house music?
It's like R&B. It's like I don't know what kind of
It's-
R&B it is.
it's-
It's just it's like smooth.
it's
It's
extraordinary.
smooth, but it's like
Would you say, I'm trying to
I
think.
don't
I'll put it in the umbrella traditional R&B because it's like
Okay.
it's not
Traditional
alternative.
R&B.
yeah, and
Okay.
but Sampha's one of those artists that like that's the same reason I like Brent Fayez. His voice alone.
He has a great voice. Phenomenal.
It breaks it away. It is so powerful,
Phenomenal voice.
and his lyrics and everything are so creative that he's an artist out of the world. A lot of people know him from Too Much, the Drake remix of his actual song, Too Much.
Yeah,
Back to
yeah.
Drake.
But the original is I love Drake too, but it's
Drake?
10 times
Did someone
better.
say Drake? Oh my God.
So that's
Speaking
Zach
of Drake-
again. You haven't heard from him from 20 minutes, but he is still here.
Yikes.
All right, what's up? What's next? What's that song? Aaron, you gotta.
Yeah, so I believe that's pretty much our music category, which branched into
advance back because
branch into a few things. Wow,
Try to, like,
I'm kind of
ease
impressed.
attention. 'Cause
Yeah.
I gotta.
No, there's definitely a lot you can talk to about. I
was being a
figured
douchebag earlier,
a few things we can
apologize.
talk about that are more relatable. Three things that are really big recently. I think I don't know how big it is recently, but we had the Logan Paul incident on YouTube.
Logan Paul, I don't want
Was
to
that
talk about. We ain't giving that man no
Yeah.
press. I don't care.
No,
We can only
okay,
give
never
one
mind.
listener. Fuck
No
Logan
reference.
Paul.
We're gonna
And Jake
take.
Paul.
We're gonna strip that actually from the audio.
All right, okay.
And
One
we
thing.
have Ant-Man and Wasp, which trailer,
fuck
which
them.
just
What are you talking
recently,
No, we already
and Taco Bell actually just
Okay,
recently
so
came
yeah,
out with a
so
pair of
today-
fries.
Today, really, I love French fries. If you know me, I love greasy food, and French fries is like the pinnacle. And there will never be a food that is better than French fries, and you can put that on my grave. And Taco Bell came out with French fries earlier this week, I believe, and they're not bad. They're called nacho fries, and they have their own taco seasoning and everything, and they're not bad at all. And I was actually surprised because most Taco Bell stuff I do not care for at all. I know,
Pepperoni.
and I know I'll get criticism for that, but a lot of people love Taco Bell. I really don't care much for them. I think it's garbage food.
You can talk about it today?
I did. Well, I had their fries.
Oh, yeah, the fries.
Yeah, but in the fries,
The
they,
fries were
they
pretty
weren't
good.
bad.
Really?
Yeah, they're not
Yeah,
bad.
I mean, they
look
were
like-
the
it's like
same
regular
old.
fries.
Yeah, I mean, they were literally just
They were
regular
really-
fries.
they just don't.
Why do they have fries Taco Bell?
But this is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
That gives like them having fries is the reason for me to go to Taco Bell because normally I would not go on their own, but they have French fries now, so that's.
But I mean,
like,
you could have the French fries they have at Taco Bell. You could have dumped them on a fucking cooking tray, and then been like, "Hey, look at these! I just got this bag of fries at Kroger," and I'd have believed you.
Like
I-
Ore-Ida shits? The Ore-Ida fries?
But I mean, if you
Yeah,
were to if you were
you
to
could
dump
make 'em
out a bunch
yourself.
of McDonald's
You could make
fries,
'em
I
yourself.
would recognize that they're McDonald's
because,
fries because
like,
they
the
have
skinny,
specific.
yeah.
But no, these were just any old fucking regular grocery store
Yeah.
fries.
Like a little bit of
The only
taco
thing that was
seasoning
special
on 'em.
was the cheese sauce that you were able to
Okay.
dip
So
it
it's
in.
like- a cheesy fries?
honestly,
No, they're just a fry. You can dip it in cheese if you
Yeah.
want.
like the biggest specialty is just that they're from Taco Bell and it's convenient. Like,
Yeah.
but that's the end of the day. So I think it is a cool move on Taco Bell being like, oh, we're coming out with new fries. But at the end of the day, you could make them at your house 10 times better if you really wanted to.
Get the ore out of the bag. The big one, not the little small shit.
Get some oil.
The crinkle cut ones though.
Fry that shit up. Make your house smell like grease. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely say that's definitely great. But I don't know. I feel like
What were we talking about?
Here's the king of
we were
segues.
going to bring up we were going to bring
Here's
up
the king of segues.
we were going to bring up the Logan Paul concept, but apparently
talking about
we
that.
should not speak on his name, as one would say.
Nah, that shit's trash. Dude.
Yeah, respect no respect on his name. But Ant-Man and Wasp actually came out with a recent trailer, and we were talking about some of the Marvel movies recently.
That was a cool little film. I'll watch that.
A cool little film, as you call it.
Honestly,
This is a guaranteed cool little film by
No,
150 Tucker.
guaranteed. We're gonna give that a
We're gonna give
five-star
that
review
one
just for the
cool little
cool
film
review.
by cool review.
honestly, I think it looks all right.
I think it looks fun.
I still need to watch it.
But
I go to a superhero movie to have fun and turn my mind off,
Yeah,
not to overly criticize
that'd be
and
cool.
analyze it.
I don't want to overly criticize it, but
That's how I felt about Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I could see that. I feel like that's a big issue, though, is where people want to criticize a movie as its overall content versus criticize it
What
as
it
a
actually
comic
is.
book
Well,
movie.
I think
I think
when
it's
you're a fan to
pseudo-intellectual,
this.
self-righteous motherfucker.
But actually though,
No. When I think if you're a fan to something and you have a big budget on it, you it's the same thing. You have expectations. You want it to live up to the expectations. Marvel Studios has some of the best movies out there, in my opinion. And so if they're having a movie that's subpar, I'm gonna be upset about it because they're able to do more with so much content in the comics and everything that they can add off to. They don't need to create their own stories. They have them from the 50s.
don't
you
you,
know?
don't you always have those comics though?
But Danny,
Did you also mention those comics?
wouldn't that be copying and pasting, and wouldn't that just be all for the money?
Well,
Yeah,
no,
well,
because
that seems
you're
like a little bit
translating
like that.
one media into
Oh,
another.
so it's translating now?
So,
It's the same as Jungle Book. Jungle Book started off as a book, not a movie.
I
right.
thought it was copy paste.
Yeah, okay.
No,
can see what
I
you're
said
saying.
that's when you remake the movie with the same plot.
Right.
Isn't that what they're doing?
No, because they take a bunch of different contexts from different comics and they transform it all into one movie that has a separate story, but has different parts from all different comics.
So, would you say that it's better that they take from comic source material rather than creating their own story with
I
the
think
characters?
it's better that they take from a bunch of different comic stories
Okay.
and then take it together with their own original story.
Sort of like
And that's
Thor
what they-
Ragnarok.
Exactly. That's what they do with in every Marvel movie. They take in so many different points and different references, all the Easter eggs in the movies, which there's hundreds of them out there now, and they take them all from different comics from the beginning of their start to even newer ones that came out months before before the movie came out, and they bring it on, they intertwine it within the story that they've developed by themselves, which goes into the greater story of the universe that all ties together. I don't think that's copy and paste at all. I think that's more creative. You're taking things that people have done before you, and not just one person, but you're taking so many different people and so many different artists. You're using all their work and using as reference points, and then you're making it into something of your own.
So, do you have expectations for an Infinity War
Oh,
based
completely.
on?
For me, Infinity War, I expect that to be one of the best movies of our generation.
Really?
And if it's not, then I'm going to be completely let down.
Critically acclaimed or as an audience review? Like, what do you
It
see?
has to.
Both.
It has to be good because
That's how big of
there's
a
been
movie it is.
so much build up to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, you can't
Infinity
build a
War
movie
has
like
been
that.
a
So it has-
accumulation of 17 movies.
It has to
Okay.
do justice to all that led up to it.
Name any other movie that has that many movies as a setup. If it's not
Right.
one of the best movies
Yeah,
of our
that's true.
generation,
That's true.
then why is it even coming out?
Like, why are you even making it?
Right, correct. It'd be like just
You've been hyping it up for like what 10, 7?
Right.
Since
10, 12
Iron Man
years
1.
now?
It's
Because
like
you couldn't watch. You couldn't be somebody who hasn't watched all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe leading up to Infinity War and watch it and understand what was going on.
Yeah, you'd be lost.
If you watch Infinity, this sounds kind of rude. If you watch Infinity War and you didn't like the movie and you didn't watch every single one of the movies, I would not respect your opinion at all.
so you
Because
think
it is a buildup of every character? What is there? Plus
They've been
40,
building
40
characters-
plus characters.
so?
in
What
there?
you're saying is it can't work as a standalone movie. It has to be
No.
something that
Well,
you're
it
watching
wasn't
the
made
saga.
to be a standalone.
And
No,
it's-
it was a compilation.
It is a
movie.
combined. This is a movie that's been going on for for how
Oh,
long?
since
Since,
Iron
like,
Man,
the
the
Hulk?
first
Since the
one,
first
the
Hulk, right?
original Iron Man.
The second Hulk.
I believe that was
First Hulk.
First Hulk, right?
I believe
Well,
technically
they
the
say
first Hulk.
that the first Iron Man is what technically starts the Marvel Cinematic
Yeah.
Universe.
Right. Yeah.
So this is a movie that's been going on
I mean, Iron
for
Man was
so
in the
long.
first Hulk.
And
Was
Iron
that-
Man 2 was garbage.
He was. At
That
the end.
Iron Man 2 is
I
actually
would-
both
The
the first
post-credit
movies
scene.
of Iron Man.
Man 2
were
was
good. Iron Man 3, you could say
Did
was
he
good.
work with the little whip shit? That was
To be
trash.
honest,
Whiplash?
I'll be honest
That
with you
was
guys. Go
garbage.
back and watch. I watched Thor over break. Thor's pretty good because now all the movies that have passed
And
it,
it makes
there's a
Talking
ton
about
of
the
Easter
first
eggs.
Thor?
I
and, like,
love
things
Natalie
that
Portman
happen.
and Thor together.
first
I like
Thor?
Natalie
Yeah, the
Portman.
first Thor.
Oh, I love
I know
Natalie
it's like
Portman's
character.
talked
Speaking of
as like
which-
the worst one, but I mean,
Speaking of which, I feel like a lot of there's movies that have TV tie-ins
Oh,
now.
I love all the Iron
Starting-
Mans.
Like I believe starting with I don't know. I guess Marvel would be one of the first who really ties in movies with their TV cinematic thing. Seeing, I believe, I think Thor has characters and Agents of Shield.
Yeah, she's in. Yeah.
Right, they have a character
Oh,
from
yeah, I
Thor in
forgot, yeah.
Agents of Shield. It's kind of interesting seeing the idea of kind of the TV medium mixing with the film medium.
Yeah, and,
it's
and,
really
I, and I
interesting.
think there's
It's like the
ways
woman
of
from
doing it
Captain
well
America.
and
Yeah.
doing it wrong. And I hate. Okay, so we're gonna have to maybe not talk about comics for too long because I can keep talking about this. But
Yeah, that's right.
like CW characters, Flash, Superwoman, Green Arrow. Sorry, all trash, terrible shows.
Okay.
And I hate to be this way, but Agents of Shield. Okay, one of the best TV series I think of all time is Daredevil.
Okay.
I
It's a
really
Netflix series.
Netflix series.
Yeah.
Marvel based. I think is absolutely beautiful, and it ties into.
you
the
think it's one of the
cinematic
best TV shows ever made?
I think you have to
Ever
take into
made?
account
No.
what's producing them, because the CW, to me,
Lower
seems
budget
much
than
more
Netflix.
low
That's
budget.
like
It-
public,
it-
public,
Netflix.
it's
It,
like
it
public
is,
access.
it is,
though.
but there's
It's a
a.
public channel.
What
You
is
get
the
that free.
original network that broadcasted Community? I think I'd want to say it's either ABC or C.
PBS?
Community what?
Yeah.
Is
Community,
NBC?
the show. I think it's NBC.
I think so. Yeah.
And they actually like advocated for a movie, but I think they got picked up.
Yeah, the whole
on,
thing
I
was
wanna
like
say
7
Yahoo.
seasons in a movie. was the
Yahoo
whole
actually
thing.
has a streaming service where Community
did
was
the last
picked up,
season.
Well, and here's the thing.
and they did their 6th season. I want to say.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to kind of see where some shows get picked up later on from a
Here's the
different
thing.
network.
Sure,
Goddamn
take on
CBS
a
shows
take
are
on a
terrible.
low budget.
CBS shows are garbage. Except for,
I'm sorry.
I like
Are you going to
NCIS.
How is that
criticize
show
one
still on?
young
NCIS.
show?
NCIS goes back to Danny's point about drawing something out too fucking long.
Yeah, that shit been going on
CSI,
forever.
NCIS, that stuff needs to die.
Yeah, they have 4
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that one,
spin-offs, right?
and
That's
this
When
great.
I watched over the what was that one with
Criminal Minds.
yeah, Criminal
I
Minds.
don't
Yeah.
think.
Oh,
I
Yeah,
don't.
that shit's been going on for too
Look at
long.
fucking Law and Order
Everybody
SVU. That
loving
shit
that
still
shit.
has
Law and
it.
Order.
SVU has like 18 seasons. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
I still watch the shit,
Hey,
but
it
like,
works.
damn.
I don't believe directors or writers should take on something if they can't do it justice to it. And this is what I'm saying for Flash, for Supergirl, and all of that. Look at Smallville. I forgot what channel was. Smallville was
Same
a low
thing,
budget.
CW.
CW.
The graphics are absolutely terrible.
Yeah,
but
'cause it's
Smallville is a
early
good
2000s.
show.
Story-wise, yeah.
Smallville is a great show, and for the first 2 seasons, the story is it's crap. There's no story to it, but it's still it's still a good show. I kept watching.
Hey,
it.
CW had One
And-
Tree Hill.
Okay.
Watch
show.
God.
watch
Yeah,
Supernatural.
show.
90210 is.
But
They
what
did
I'm-
too, yeah.
but what I'm
90210.
saying is
The reboot.
even with a low
reboot.
budget, you can
Yeah.
take some of these stories and you can do
Yeah, there
great
was a
things with them.
90210 back in
But-
like the 80s.
Huh.
To not do to take something on for the pure sake that this is something popular. No, do not take something on if you can't do justice to it. Because if not, you're just ruining it as a franchise, and that's it.
Okay.
Says Danny Tempers.
You're selling out.
Yeah,
You
that's
saw
true. That's true.
So that's
money.
I think that's a big issue. Bringing it back all to Star Wars is the idea that are they selling out? Are they bringing back something for nostalgia's sake,
Yes.
or
Yeah.
are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, completely. That's why.
Yeah,
That's why,
I definitely think
that's
that.
why Disney brought it back.
But there were so many aspects of The Last Jedi, like so many different things that happened in the movie, that you were like, oh, that was for people who have seen the movies before.
Like Yoda.
Like there
Yoda
were
coming in.
all like
Spoiler
there
alert.
were at least like 10 or 15 things that happened in The Last Jedi that wouldn't have caught your eye or wouldn't have made sense if you hadn't seen the original trilogy.
Yeah.
And I think that so what I'm kind of getting at what you were asking was including all that stuff that would remind people of the original trilogy, was that the wrong thing to do, or should they have written stuff that was just new material?
Right,
I-
just
I-
their
I-
own characters.
I think
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
always needs to be a balance, but I do think that you can both sell out and make a good movie.
Yeah.
I
Because
think
that
you-
was my favorite part of the one of my some of my
Spoiler.
favorite stuff about The Last Jedi. I'm not going to give any spoilers. Some of my favorite parts about The Last Jedi were all the different things that reminded me of the old movies,
Right.
but also I loved the stuff that was new too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think that's definitely.
Force Awakens, like everyone, Leia came on the screen, they all clap in the theater. That's what the reaction they want from people.
But that's also a thing. I remember when we went to see Power Rangers.
Oh my
Which
god.
is-
that was
One of the things-
I love that movie.
That's a
Actually, I actually love that movie.
That played off nostalgia in the sake that they knew that they were only going to get the original crowd.
Yeah.
And they didn't play it for marketing's sake. They played it because they knew that people
Exactly.
wanted to see
That-
it.
Yeah.
and that's something I can respect. If it is purely for nostalgia, if they're up front and say, "Look, we're making a Power Ranger movie because we have new technology and we're gonna kick ass." Power Rangers was in my. I grew up loving Power Rangers. Anybody who knows me, I love Power Rangers. I'll do the whistle or whatever.
Yeah.
I love it. I really do. It's so fun and quirky, and it's just.
Danny, watch the cord underneath your chair.
Okay. But it's so fun, and so when the movie came out, it was just like it was everything I wanted since I was a child, and everyone in the theater felt the same. People were screaming out during the movie, and normally I take that very seriously. I hate when people even whisper next to me in a movie theater.
Like Aaron laughing loud.
Oh my
No,
gosh,
I'm
it's
sorry.
the worst thing.
It's just
Seriously,
tradition.
if you're going to a movie theater, don't talk or give your money to whoever.
Well, you
said-
know, you never met black people because they're going to
Yeah,
talk.
I know. Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
I'm just
yeah.
Black people,
Just
black
tell you
people,
that.
they're going to talk.
Just wait till
Oh
Black
yeah,
Panther.
yeah. I'm not. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait a couple weeks to go see that. But seriously, I do hate that. But Power Rangers was different because Power Rangers was a community of people going to see it who all felt the same nostalgia.
Right.
And so what did that one person scream out?
He said the thing.
You on the spectrum?
He said, because
he said the thing, yeah.
she said, yeah, she said, ay, 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 so we're
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
that's that. If you watch Power Rangers as a kid, you know that's what he says in every single episode. Anytime
That's
you
Alpha
see
5, I
Alpha
believe.
5, you see her in every single episode, ay, ay, ay. And so that was just like a hilarious moment, and that's something that you can actually appreciate. But oh man, but that's the song. That's the fun part. You're remembering something great about it.
Yeah.
But when you use that for your movie just to sell, then
It's just like,
I don't know.
It's tainted. It's
Yeah,
tainted for you.
it's a nostalgia point. It's like
tainted love.
if you think about all the toys.
It's like
you
WWE right now. WWE's on the fucking nostalgia run.
Oh.
Oh,
Well,
yeah. It's not on WWE.
How many rants? How many
Right,
rants?
it's not on WWE.
But I think that I think that maybe that's something that these different companies go to, like they're when they start going on like a downward, like when they stop being as successful as they were, they're like, their first solution is not to be like, oh, let's what can we create that will make people as excited or as invested as they were back then. It's, oh no, let's just bring back what we had and
Right.
just do what we did that worked instead of trying to create something new. And I think that's why the WWE lately, you've seen the return of all these old wrestlers because
Rey Mysterio came back.
people
Are you
fucking
serious?
He
love
came back Royal Rumble.
Is that
Yeah.
Mr. 819? What is
No,
this?
619.
619.
He
There it
came
is.
back, and it was like this one moment in the match where like 3 people from the new generation, 3 people from the old generation matched off against each other. It was like, all right.
I
Yeah,
saw
and I
Ronda
it was
Rousey.
really cool.
Is it
It was
Ronda
really cool.
It was
Rousey?
actually,
Yeah,
and,
Ronda
uh,
Rousey signed with
is it-
WWE.
that was a
But
good
that's
one.
that's
Ronda
not
Rousey?
new to
Yeah,
the
she's not with
WWE
WWE.
though.
Hold on.
The WWE's been doing that
Yeah,
since.
since like the 90s.
Oh, really?
Okay,
Yeah.
but can we talk about what Ronda Rousey?
She signed to WWE, yeah, full time.
What has happened
you
after her
wait,
fight with
really?
who?
She got
Holly Holmes?
she got kicked in the
Who did she?
face,
Who
and
did
then
she
Shawty
get
just
beat
like,
by?
Holly Holmes was
Holly
the one that
Holmes.
kicked
Holly
her in
Holmes
the
kicked
face.
in the face.
Holly
and-
Holmes knocked her out. Was that a 40-second knockout?
Yeah, and then she lost again in the first round.
Ronda Rousey lost again after
Yeah,
that.
so like I think it was Nunes.
Right.
Nunes.
Okay, so then she immediately got knocked out. So now she's signing with the WWE.
Full time. She's like fighting WrestleMania.
Is that?
She's signing for the title.
Would you say that makes WWE higher in quality in the sense that it brings? Is she signing as a diva character? or?
She's signing as a. There's women's now. They don't do divas anymore.
So
It's
then
like it's
divas
women.
is
They're
over.
on like a women revolution right now.
Okay.
They had like their first ever women's Royal Rumble.
Okay.
That was
hell
really
yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Wow, okay,
That's
that's really cool.
They brought back Trish Stratus, Lita, and all them.
Snoop
That got a
Dogg's
lot of
daughter.
coverage, too.
It did, yeah.
Snoop Dogg's daughter is in one of the.
It's her
right?
cousin. It's his cousin.
Snoop Dogg's cousin.
It's Sasha Banks. She's like
Sasha
one of the
Banks,
big
right. That's
wrestlers
great.
there. Yeah,
Right, yeah.
she's really good too.
I saw a wrestling show for the first time last year, and I honestly have to say one of the most exciting part was actually the women's wrestling part. And I'm not.
They've
saying,
really been like
I'm
they've
not- yeah,
really been
I'm
working
not-
on that.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying that for just like perverted reasons. It was actually the most entertaining.
They
part.
actually
Yeah.
have a show on that on Netflix, I believe. Is it? Or is
It's
it one of the-
on like E Network. It's
Yeah,
Total
E-Network.
Divas.
Yeah. Where
It's
they have, like-
the Divas name in that show because it's like I guess. It's
Yeah, they have, like,
but the way they intertwine like the character stories, it was so much more interesting actually.
Yeah.
And also John Cena is balding.
Is he?
That's how old we are now. John Cena
Oh
is getting
no!
bald.
The
Uh-huh.
do.
And his
It's
name
like,
is
uh,
Bald Cena.
Like over break, I watched a lot of UFC
Yeah.
and like they would like announce what fight was coming next, and like it would be a woman's bout, and I would be like, I would like go into watching the match thinking, oh, this isn't gonna be comparable to the men's fights. Like it's not gonna be as entertaining or as brutal. No, those women beat the fucking shit out of each other. I mean, dude, they're just
If you ever watch a
They
hell
go
out of each other.
hard.
If you ever
yo.
watch
They go hard,
a
yo.
World Star video or anything on Live Leak, wherever, where you see women fighting each other in a school setting, it is
Women are ruthless.
brutal.
Yeah.
Sharkeisha, no!
So shout out to both Hood Clips and World Star on Instagram.
Yeah,
they have
honestly.
the best videos you could ever
Oh,
have.
so
If you
good.
gotta follow one account, follow them. They're not sponsoring. It is just they're just a great
So
account.
good.
Women are so emotional. So like they just
Yeah.
put their all in everything.
Don't say that.
No, seriously, but they put their all in everything.
No,
though.
they do. They definitely
Well,
do.
I would rather fight a man than a woman because a woman will kick your ass.
Women will stab you in the back.
It's-
Women
yeah.
don't, there's no rules in women fighting.
There's no rules.
They pull that hair like a motherfucker.
No.
That's the first thing they do is pull that hair.
No, that's the first thing you see. It's like
Women
you see a fight. You know you've seen a fight because you'll see a weave on the
Women
ground,
will fuck
and you'll be
you
like,
up.
oh yeah, there's a fight there.
That's how you know the fight happened in the cafeteria was that weed, that little misplaced weed in the middle of the
See,
cafeteria.
cafeteria fights are one of the funniest things because in a guy's setting, you have like, oh shit, everyone's fighting, they're rough and shit. Sometimes it even ends up in a
Tables
food fight.
break.
Yeah, but like you just see those fights and you're like, damn, they are ruthless.
I think anytime I ever saw two guys get in a fight, it was literally just watching these fucking idiots just like swing overhead, like at each other, like just like
insanity.
If you think,
it was the most
SpongeBob and
pathetic
Patrick
fucking
fighting
thing
in
I've
the
ever seen.
SpongeBob episode where they just smack
But
cans
women
at each
actually
other.
hit each other in the face.
Yeah.
Oh,
They actually
well,
connect.
But
You
what
get
I
a
was
smack,
saying is
too.
that when I've seen two, like what I just described was two high school guys get in a fight.
Right.
Whenever I saw two high school girls get in a fight, it wasn't much different. I mean, the
Really,
only
yeah.
difference was usually one of them started pulling the other one's fucking
One
hair.
started bleeding.
And then start swinging like this.
Yeah, like
there it is. There it is. That's what
Yeah.
Quincy just motioned
Cheating.
was
The undercuts when they hold your
The
hair right there
undercuts
at the top with the
while
left
holding
hand,
your hair,
and the
yeah.
right hand they uppercut you right in the nose.
Yeah.
You
Anytime
got
I
no
ever
chance
saw,
of that shit.
anytime I ever saw in person two girls go at it or like fight, like in a YouTube video of them,
Yeah.
of them getting in a fight, there's always this like one goes for the hair and tries to pull the other one's hair.
Yeah.
But, and I think
And they swing
maybe
their
guys
ass,
don't
too.
do this just because when
You
they
don't
get
really
in a
have long
fight,
hair.
people don't have long hair. But there's definitely a difference in how two groups of people go at one another.
It's really funny.
Yeah, no, I think also another thing, a fun thing about high school fights.
I also think that no one should.
The
fucking
gay
fight.
guy in high
beyond-
school can always fight.
beyond-
I think we
The
should.
gay guys could always fight.
Yeah.
I think we should add on to what Austin said. It is like fighting is just like
Just dumb.
if you have to resort to violence to prove your point, then you got some other problems.
Then
Yeah,
you're,
see,
the
it's
The best thing
wrong,
about
it's
fights
dumb.
are not regular fights, it's food fights. See,
I never had one of those before.
See, no one here, I
for me,
assume,
food fights
I
are
never had
something
one
out
of
of the
those.
80s.
I assume
In
High
no
School
one,
Musical.
no one has had a food fight
Great
here.
movie.
Great.
I actually got the great enjoyment of having actually a food fight
I'd
in
be
middle
pissed off if I
school.
wore
Really?
some nice to school.
See-
Food
See,
fights are funny.
If somebody throw my food, I'm fucking snapping, yo.
That's the worst part. You
Every day's a food fight when you're a cannibal.
so
Z-Money's back.
Yeah. So the best part about food fights is kind of this idea of like you have to decide what do I throw, what do I like.
I throw the milk. I throw the milk. I throw the milk. No, fuck the milk, dude.
So you see,
I throw away those fucking dried out fucking green beans.
oh
I'm throwing a fucking
That's the first
butter
thing
knife
going.
in
The
somebody's
best was the first
eye.
thing going.
yeah,
Brought
no.
a cherry bomb to
So
school.
the idea with me is, I think one of my first food fights. Actually, I think I was only in one because they like canceled like big lunches after that. So I threw my Cheez-Its. Now
You threw your Cheez-Its, dog?
Cheez-Its are tactical. Cheez-Its are tactical
they got
because
the
you
sharp
know
edge.
who you hit because they have the
Just
powder.
throwing them like
You
ninja
just have,
stars.
you chuck them across the room.
So
boom,
you had a
hit
bandana.
someone.
You want to hit somebody with a
No,
cheese.
see, the
Yeah, you
vendetta,
were like-
no.
you had
Vendetta was the
targets.
people that threw the milk. Those were the people. Those are the people you look out for. If you
I threw the
ever
milk. And my
know,
worst enemy. My
if you
worst
ever
enemy
want to
get that
know
milk
if
in
you
the
can
game.
trust someone, it's if they would throw milk in a food fight.
Here's Aaron right now.
Biggest thing.
My first time at a food fight, it was very sensual,
You're right.
very picky.
Yeah, there it is. That's what it is. No,
I
it's
knew what I wanted, and
He
guess
knows
what?
the
I
basis
went
of his
for it.
voice, so he's trying
you
to keep
have
it. He's trying to keep it
you
in
have
control.
to know. Hey guys, how are you doing right now? So no, honestly,
It was
honestly,
a gentle throw. one that I would remember for the rest of my
I
life.
want to say
That
that.
one girl that broke your heart, she getting the milk right in the head. She getting the milk right in the fucking
Yeah, I'm
head.
telling you, the,
Bitch, you never text me back.
the guys that threw milk in middle school were probably the ones that are just banging your girlfriends right now. I'm just gonna be honest right now. These are probably the ones. You
Being
know
black
how
in
superior you are.
America. That's what the
Is that really one of those Snapchat
filter.
filters?
I was recording a Snapchat
Shout
of
out
us,
Snapchat, dog. They
yeah.
know the
of us
cause.
doing the thing, and then I started just going through the filters, and then all of a sudden it
Aaron,
was.
Aaron, they can't bang my girlfriends if I never had one. In the
That's
first
true.
place.
Oh, I think we're
That's
wrapping
money.
up.
Down.
Your
Yeah,
time will
wrapping up.
come, dog. I know it will. You the go.
Hello. Yeah.
Wrap it up.
You got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All
right, guys.
We
So-
come to
we got
an
the
end
wrap-up segment.
today.
Yeah. So
I think it's
Thanks
I'm
for
sorry.
listening.
I sorry.
I
Danny,
prefer
Danny
those
was
anger,
Danny was
yeah.
Danny slow right now, so I figured
So
I'd
Danny slow.
wrap him up Danny fast. So today we're pretty much wrapping up right now, ending a few things. I feel like we touched on a lot of things that we're probably going to talk about in the future. So what to say? Just I hope you guys enjoyed listening
Yeah,
to our.
thank you for listening. If
soft
you ever
and
listen to
smooth
this,
voices. I really want to say.
My shit was loud as fuck though.
All the people that we talked about sponsoring us, please do sponsor us. So we're gonna wrap it up.
Except for you, Brandon Stark. Fuck you.
And I believe Home Depot is no longer going to sponsor us.
Not the actor, but the character.
we just this
The
just
actor's
in
cool.
Yeah.
Home Depot. Dad dropped
Yeah,
this.
Home Depot,
Home Depot's
I love
dropped
you.
us.
Home Depot, pay me. W-2s. Let's get it.
All right. So today we had with us once again we had,
Austin.
Zach.
Q-top.
Danny.
and this is Aaron signing off.
Soft serve, baby.
Have a good weekend. All right. So now we pretty much.
We did it, boys.
What mark are we at?
Hit stop. No hit stop.